All right, we're live. It's the Kratom Gals. Welcome to the replay of the Kratom Gals, a weekly
Hey.
live stream where we share interesting videos we uncover all over social media, YouTube, TikTok, and more. It's spicy, it's fun, and very informative. You'll get an interesting view of Kratom looking at the good, the bad, and even the ugly. I'm Madalyn Sklar, host of the Kratom Stories podcast and the gal behind starting the Kratom Gals live stream series. Please note this live stream is presented solely for educational purposes. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician or other medical professional. We are a community that comes together to share our knowledge, our stories, and our experience. Welcome, everybody. Hey, gals.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It's Saturday again. You know, I love Saturdays. I love how we get
I do
together
too.
and do
I
this.
love
Me too.
Kratom Gal Saturday.
Yep.
And hey to Rebecca and Craig. See, I know now Mike Hunt is. It took me a while to always remember that, so I got it now. But it's great to see everybody. Hey, gals, how
Hey,
y'all
Rebecca.
doing?
Hey, Craig.
Good.
Doing pretty good.
Doing
And
good.
who are y'all? Why don't y'all introduce yourselves real quick? Misty, we'll start with you.
My name is Misty Brown, aka the tealeafpodcast, or aka Miss Tees. I am a Kratom consumer advocate and activist for 5 years now.
Official
5-year crew, boo.
Congrats.
My name is Jennifer Gillis, also known as Winifred Jenkins. I have been a Kratom consumer for the last 5 years now. I take it for chronic pain, and it's changed my life for the better. Glad that Madalyn started this so we can just come together and, correct the misinformation that's out there. There's a lot.
A lot.
Yep. Yep. And I'm Venus, or Kratom Butterfly, and I found Kratom in 2017. And I just want to spread the word and tell everybody about it. And also, I wanted to let everybody know that I will be going to the dentist soon. So hopefully this mask will be gone soon.
Nice.
Looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I
Well,
just love coming together and supporting, having all the support.
yeah, well, thank you all so much for doing this with me each week. And we're sporting our Kratom Gals t-shirts. Look how cool these are.
I love mine.
I love mine too. And let me show y'all, in case those of you watching do not know, if you go to Ms. T's merch, there are so many cool t-shirts. And look at this. This is our brand new ones that have just been added. Kratom Pals. You can get a Kratom Pals t-shirt, a hoodie, or a tank top. Let me click on this so you can see how cool. Look at that. There's all these different colors. You got black with white
Ooh, I like
lettering,
that black one.
black with green. You got like a sports gray on black or with green. There's like a navy blue. Look at that. That's what I ordered. I ordered the navy blue with the white. That looks so freaking cool. Irish green with white letters. But also the beauty of this is that Carrie will work with you. She can, like for me, I'm picky with the actual type of shirt. It has to be like super soft. I'm not going to wear it if it's not comfortable. So there's a specific brand I really love. So she works with me on that. Like she knows, like when I want to order something, she knows the brand I want to get. And so that way she can go get it for me and create the awesome shirt. So if you want anything customized, always feel free to reach out to Carrie. That is Misty's cousin, if y'all don't know.
My cousin.
She is so cool. And yeah, these are really cool t-shirts. But, she can do it with the hoodies, the tanks. But we wanted to have a Kratom Pals. So if any of the guys don't want to have a Kratom Gals, you can wear a Kratom Pals. So I thought that would be cool. Hey, Heidi. Great seeing you.
Hi, Heidi.
Hey, Heidi.
Always great when Heidi comes here. So yeah, if you can go to mistysmerch.com. You can also go to kratomstoriespodcast.com/t-shirts with an S on the end. Both of those links will get you to the page here. And when you come on here, you've got Kratom Stories Podcast, Kratom Gals. You got all these different shirts. She even created this really cool Kratom Real Talk that I love to wear. There's all these different designs with
The tank top is so nice. And in fact, I might be changing into my tank top later on because it is very hot here in Memphis. I don't know where you guys are, but if it's hot, it's hot. So
Yep.
Yeah, it's very hot.
Yeah.
Hot summer. And look at all these other, I'm a Kratom advocate, keep Kratom. There's all these different designs. So you can order one of these off the website or have Carrie create something like she created these Kratom Gals and Kratom Pals t-shirts for us.
The Kratom Gals summer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is very cool. So if y'all want to get one, go over there. Hey, and we got Kristen here,
Hi,
Truth or Nurse.
Kristen.
Hey,
Kristen.
Nice
hey,
to see ya.
Christine.
Awesome.
Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Mike. Hey, Craig. Hey, Christine.
Christine's in
know. We got
Florida.
the-
I know it's hot there. I bet Kristen, I bet it's hot there too in Louisiana.
Louisiana. It's hot everywhere. What
Yeah.
the heck is going on with this summer? It's a hot, hot summer.
I'm ready for it to be over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right. It's barely begun, although I'm saying barely begun. I mean, in Houston where I live, we've had this hot weather for months already. I'm so over it. And it's only June. So yeah, it's a hot one. We got Marcy here with us. Hey, Marcy.
Hey, Marcy.
Hey, Marcy.
And also Christine's here. Yes, boiling here. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming indoors, cooling off, and hanging out with the Kratom Gals. So we got a lot of videos to watch today, so we're going to just dive right in. We're going to start with a couple of snippets from the brand new episode of the Kratom Stories podcast. This one features Marcelle Morfin, who, if y'all don't know, she's like a huge Kratom advocate. She's been around for years. She kind of took a little bit of a break, so she's kind of been under the radar in the past year or so. But I remember connecting with her on social media 4 or 5 years ago. It was quite some time ago when I was early into my Kratom journey. She's super cool, super knowledgeable. So I'm going to play a couple of clips from this episode.
Kratom is amazing, and without it, I mean, I know I wouldn't be alive today. I wouldn't be here. There's no doubt in my mind. But also in saying that, people want this miracle that's going to make you pain free and just going to take it all away. And that's just not realistic, honestly. For some people, it is. For some people, they get that benefit. For myself, I can get it super low some days, and other days when I'm in really, really, really bad pain, I get it down to just be able to function a little bit. And sometimes I'll just sit in my chair all day.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel bad because I go around saying all the time, like with Kratom, like my pain is like pretty much gone during the 6-hour duration. And I know not everybody experiences that. So I feel bad when people are like, yeah, I like Kratom, but it's okay. I don't get super great pain relief. I get some pain relief.
Sometimes, sometimes, you just don't. Sometimes you can't. It's just the way life is, especially, when I overdo it or, do something stupid I know I shouldn't have done, and I kind of paid for it for a couple days. But, it's still so much better than living the way I was before I found Kratom. So I'll take it.
Yeah, same here. Heidi says they're in a hotel in Michigan watching us on TV.
Ooh,
so
nice.
Hey, Heidi and her mom, Ela. That's so cool. Well, good thing y'all are in Michigan, which means you can get your Kratom, which is good.
Oh, hey, Kelly.
Kelly's here with us. Kelly says, this live just reminded me I need to take my afternoon dose.
I did right before this started because I needed it.
I'm glad that we're able to remind you. That's awesome. Hey, if y'all haven't done so yet, hit the share button. Let people know that you love this live stream. Don't keep this all to yourselves. Let other people know that you like coming here and hanging out with us. Share
the Kratom love.
Yeah, share the Kratom love. Okay, I'm going to play another little 1.5 minute snippet from this episode.
Wonder. I'm plain leaf Kratom. I'm powder. I do not, no extracts, zero. I don't care if they can tout them as being safe and okay all day long, but I've heard stories, and I'm not here to discount or invalidate or gaslight anybody about their personal experience, even though sometimes in the past, and I have to go back and apologize probably to a lot of people, but I was like, then you're taking too much. Then you're, just pointing the finger and being kind of not as understanding. And now I can see there's a problem. And I've been able to see for a while with extracts, and because they are concentrated, I'm not saying that it's all extracts, but I feel like whatever they're doing, however they are extracting, doing the extraction process, is creating such a concentrated form of Kratom, and maybe too much 7-hydroxymytrogynine, that people are getting addicted and not realizing there's not labeling on a lot of them that would say 1 to 2 drops. I don't know if you've read the University of Florida webpage on Kratom. I went over it a couple times, but I think it was yesterday I was reading some of it, and that's exactly what McCurdy was saying. Generally, it's 1 to 2 drops of an extract you're supposed to take. And I see someone who's coming off illicit drugs or stronger opioids possibly needing that initially to wean down. Like, I'm not here to say don't ever touch those, which I kind of am like, I would be just very, very, very cautious. And if you have an addiction type personality, even more so.
I 1000% agree.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that she brought that up in the conversation because, is coming into the conversation more and more for all of us because the extracts are just becoming big news, the 7-OH tablet. So yeah, I'm definitely interested, Misty, in your expanded thoughts on what she said.
I just always say, if you have firsthand experience with the extracts, get off your ass and teach people how to consume them properly. I don't have firsthand experience with them other than I help people transition off of them. Not only are they saving their health, they're saving their money.
Yes.
And it really is that simple to put the extracts down, pick up plain leaf lab tested powder. Then you will start noticing the full alkaloid benefits when you start the lab tested powder.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody should ever start out with extracts. I think that they do have, like, I hate the extract shots. I hate those. I hate them so much because they just cause so much bad in the community. But, I don't think anybody that hasn't taken Kratom for a long time should touch them. And I think that you should be educated before you.
The only time I would agree with the extracts is when you're transitioning off of illicit fentanyl or any other hardcore drugs. But you will need a time frame to where you will need to get off the extracts and then get on to powder.
And I would say still try the powder first.
Try it first.
Surprised, I mean, I know that a lot of people have come off some pretty hard stuff just on the powder. I mean, I know it sounds like, when you're going through that, though, it sounds like, oh, this plant is going to help me get off, like this illicit fentanyl or something like that. But you'd be surprised. Like, it's pretty powerful. Like, it's not just, definitely try the powder first.
There was this mom that commented on my TikTok video before saying that what she did for her son to get him off of illicit fentanyl was the first week. I believe it's the first week or 3 to 4 days. I don't remember. But she gave him she gave him the extracts to get over that initial illicit fentanyl withdrawal phase. And then she incorporated the plain leaf powder. And her son has been soberish. I do not like saying the word sober.
Yeah.
But her son's been, clean off of illicit fentanyl ever since. So.
That's awesome.
I don't know. Talking about the extracts really good.
Yeah,
I know. Same here. I've never used them. I have no need to. I advocate for the powder only. I mean, I know they have their place for some people. I think you need to be experienced. Kelly made a really great point before. She said when she first started, she didn't know much. She tried the extract, drank a whole bottle, and it made her sick. Because
I tried the extract shots a couple of times. To be honest, I don't care for them at all. It's not, it honestly didn't do a whole lot. I'd rather take, the regular powder, but I just don't like that they have, 3 servings packed into this one tiny bottle.
It's too much. And people don't read it because it's written so small on the bottle. When you make these bottles, when these manufacturers make these bottles the same size as those 5-hour energy drinks.
Yeah.
We all know with those, you drink the whole bottle of those drinks. Of all those different types of drinks. So when you see this sitting right next to it at the convenience store, you're not going to go look to see how many servings. Who looks at that?
Yeah.
Or like when we were at the Champs trade show in February, that's what they push. They push out these extracts. I have a whole bag full of extracts that just sitting in the bag still. I don't care I won't consume them. But we saw a 7-OH just by itself, the 7-OH liquid extract, and it was 10 servings per that bottle. written in
Oh
real
my
tiny,
God.
tiny fucking instructions. Like, who? Like what?
And I mean, a lot of people that, I mean, just from what I've seen out there on social media, a lot of the people that are going for the 70H are, people that are trying to chase a dragon, chase
Mhm.
that dragon. And it's
Yeah.
like, they're 10 servings. That's nothing to them. I mean,
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. And I don't agree with the 70H being out there at all, or, people calling it kratom, period.
Yeah. Hey, Veronica, thank you for joining us. She said extracts made her sick, took it once. Yeah, I think with the powder, you're getting the whole leaf experience, right? You're
Yeah.
getting all the alkaloids, and I think that's why it works so well for me. Why would I want something that's very potent? You gotta be very careful how much you take, and you're only getting like what, 2 alkaloids in it? It's
Yeah.
not for me. It is not for me
And
at
for
all.
me,
Here,
I've tried
Brooke.
the extracts. It's taken me like 8 years to venture out and really, and I don't use them that often. I use them like as a breakthrough pain,
Yeah,
or if I'm
Right,
going
right.
out,
I think if you're
and not
experienced, then that's
yeah,
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
and not
yeah.
like the breakthrough pains meds I needed with the pharma meds. It's like occasionally, like a couple times a month, I might need something just a little extra. But it doesn't
Yeah,
make me high. It just helps my pain a little bit more. And then
Yeah.
the next
right.
time I just go on to my next dose. But I'm the same thing. I don't like the shots, and I think they should be well labeled and individually dosed so you know how much you're taking.
Absolutely.
Like, I love that vendors, I'm not going to name vendors, but I love that certain vendors just took them off their
Yes.
menus,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know? Yep.
Mm.
Yep, Heidi.
Great
Yep.
point, Heidi. Great point. Well, we got more videos to watch. We got a really special one next that I want to play for y'all. Who is that?
Oh.
5 years
Yay.
ago today
Who is
was
this
when my
girl?
brand new life began.
5
I'm
years
gonna
this
read
week.
y'all what I posted on my 1-year anniversary on Bookface in 2020. Y'all just get the eyes today. Okay. I said I was stoned as shit on my weed 1 year ago tonight, trying to find something to watch on Netflix. This is what I watched. And this is what would ultimately change my direction in my life. This documentary is what breathed life back into me. I am no longer a hoe to Big Pharma. I no longer allow Big Pharma to dictate my life nor my kids' lives. Yes, it is my fault that I slid into addiction. See, chronic pain patients, I've always accepted accountability for my part. Don't get that shit twisted. Yes, it is my fault for the shitstorm that I put myself in and anyone else around me. I am a brand new version of the old me. Me, myself, and I dictates my life now. I did that with the help of kratom, weed, and fungi. Of course, the documentary that saved me in 2019 was called A Leaf of Faith. You can watch it free on YouTube. It's no longer on Netflix. See, I did like a coming out on kratom post on Bookface about 2 months after I found kratom because I was shooketh. I was like, where is everybody? How come I never knew? During my 11-year addiction run, how come I never knew that kratom even existed? So I vowed to myself that I will always be a loud and proud advocate. I don't give a goddamn fuck if that pisses you off. Gatekeeping kratom is not only a disservice to you and your mental health, it's a disservice to anybody that's around you that's suffering from chronic pain, addictions, anxieties, depressions, all that shit. Ain't no gatekeeping going on around here. So I suggest that you stand up, stand 10 toes down, or however many toes you got, and advocate to keep kratom safe so that we can continue saving the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and you.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. Miss,
That
you
was
always
good.
have the best way of saying stuff. You
You
really
sure
do.
do.
I'm
You're
not
so
that good
good
with
at it.
words, but you always do it
I've
perfectly.
had people comment before talking about, and I know you have too, Madalyn, talking about why stop advocating for kratom. You're making it be seen more. It's like
Whoops.
what? Like what? Why?
Right.
I've
I
seen those
know.
comments. I've seen them.
I know. They're like, no, be quiet about
Once
it.
this
Don't
gets out,
share. Yeah. I'm like, hell no. Like I'm like Misty. I feel like I'm doing a disservice if I'm not talking about it, because in my 9 years in pain management, even though I didn't have the addiction issues with my pain medications, I would have been open-minded to other options had I known about them. And I was somebody that didn't
Right.
really venture into plant medicine prior, except for weed in high school, but that was different. And, you know, crazy, like looking back all those 9 years, like why didn't anybody talk about it in the chronic pain community? Why has this been kept a secret? So I had to wait until I was abandoned by pain management and no other doctors would take over, which nobody should ever have to go through. Nobody should have to go through an incident like that, because it's scary as hell. You are following the rules. You have a pain plan that works. The doctor's on board with it, but they're scared now. And it's understandable why they're scared. The government has really clamped down on this and go like they're putting doctors in prison. Is happening all over the country. And when this was all happening with me, I know California was really big with putting them in prison. And I know there's been some other states where it was happening. So I get it, but this is not the answer, to just abandon patients and then nobody else will take over the care because, they're too scared to do it. So we should never be put into that position. So when I discovered kratom, which was through a leap of faith, like Misty, it was amazing. But then I also got pissed. I'm like, why don't people talk about this?
Yes.
Why didn't I know? And then to talk about in the chronic pain community now as a kratom consumer, and half the time they get mad at us. And it's like, F you, man. Like y'all need to talk about this. Let people know there are options. It's just wrong to not talk about it.
Not only do they get mad, then they start listing all their diseases and illnesses, and it's like
all the medications they're taking for them.
Yeah.
Well, they think we're anti-opioids. Like, no, we want everybody to get pain relief. However you can get pain relief.
I want everybody to have a good quality of life every day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if opioids are the way, then it's fine.
Yeah, I was addicted to them. My parents were addicted to them, but you don't see me on this rampage, trying to ban opioids. Like one chronic pain patient told me before that I would be a poster child for that organization Prop, and I'm like, at first I didn't know what Prop was, so I went and Googled it, and I was like, what the shit? I'm not, just because I'm telling my story doesn't mean I'm trying to, punish other people.
Right.
My story's my story.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just trying to share it with others so they know.
And if it irritates something within you and your soul, then maybe you resonate to something I'm saying. Maybe you are secretly addicted like I was.
Right.
Secrets. This one other creator that I can't stand, but she's, this part I like. Secrets will keep you sick.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you're a kratom consumer and you're not out here advocating because your fear of the stigma, how the fuck are we going to end the stigma if you don't come out and talk about it?
Right.
Or your fear in family members. I understand the job situation. I get messages a ton about people who work in corporate, or people that are in law enforcement, people that are nurses. I understand that aspect of it. But if you ain't doing shit but sitting at home and not fucking advocating, what the fuck, man?
I do think it's awful though when I hear about people's family not being supportive. My family has always been supportive, but like I read a comment the other day where some lady said that her husband threw away all her kratom, and I would have been like, bro, you would either leave or I'm packing my shit up and I'll see you later.
Where I said you need to get a new husband.
You know, a new husband. I was like, she sure does. But when you see people like my husband, all that every now and then, we might do something like, glad that I'm not still drinking. and he's, I mean, because he's seen the change with his own 2 eyes. Like anybody that has seen. So, I mean, if your family is really supportive and really, I don't know, if they're not that supportive and they've seen how much you've changed for the better, then maybe you need to rethink the relationships, that you have. Just saying.
That's how I knew I was confident enough 2 months after finding Kratom to confidently post my first post on Facebook about, like I said, coming out on Kratom, because my kids are the ones who saw my change.
Right. Yeah.
I felt the change. I knew the change. I could see the change in myself, but I was waiting for confirmation pretty much because I put my kids through shit through my 11 years. Like, I can't make up for that other than to continue changing.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you're doing a disservice, not only for your, like I said, for your mental health. You're not, because you're not being loud and proud about it, you're not going to save the next person who's secretly suffering.
And I always look at it as, first of all, I'm still grateful for it every day of my life, even after 5 years. And so I always just, I think back to when I first found out about it. And, everybody should have that chance. Everybody should have the chance or the knowledge to have that chance to make that change and have a better life. I mean, anybody that just wants to sit and watch somebody suffer, there's nothing right with that. I mean, there's something wrong,
What really gets me going is knowing that chronic pain patients are committing suicide
Yeah.
when they get abandoned by their pain doctors.
Yeah.
And it's like, if somebody would have gotten in their ear just to let them know, hey, try Kratom before you make that decision, they would still be alive today. Their families wouldn't be suffering from their deaths.
Yeah, or them
Right.
going to the streets and getting addicted to heroin or fentanyl. Yeah, it's
Or
amazing.
alcohol, drinking
Yeah,
yourself to death,
exactly.
because that's what my road was. My road was, drink the pain away, and that was, I never want to live like that again.
Yeah, same. With as far as just being in pain management, just being miserable in pain all the time. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
Don't miss that old life. Thanks
Wow.
to Kratom. Yeah, it's amazing on TikTok how many people are seeking out the information that we put out there, that are suffering in chronic pain, are being underprescribed or losing access, have lost access, and they hear us talk about Kratom and they're like, wait a minute, there's a plant. So it's really amazing how many people we're helping just by doing this, just by coming here and talking about Kratom. It's important. I've got such a cool video to show y'all that I came across. It is a Kratom farm in Borneo. They have like this 6-minute video, and it's so well done. And it's like watching the process of like them getting the leaves and then them like doing their thing before, because us as Kratom consumers, we just know that bag of Kratom we buy from our favorite vendors, and like, we don't really know necessarily that much about where did that come from.
The steps.
The tree that it came from. Yes, and all the steps. This video, I've seen some of these videos online before. This is one of the best ones I've ever seen. And it just came out. So I'm going to play this for y'all.
I want to hug the folks that pick our Kratom for us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In Vegas, I was able to hug some Indonesian farmers, but I
Were you?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool.
And I was like, I would just love to hug the workers that are doing this. They have no
and just say
they have
thank
no
you.
idea. They have no idea.
No, they don't.
What Kratom is doing for us Americans. They just know it's a job that they're doing out there.
Yeah.
That's it. They
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
the outcome of it.
Could you imagine if they like saw us advocating and saw us do
Yeah.
something like this every week where we come together and talk about Kratom, that it starts with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I threw
Yep.
some ideas around with them, so we shall see if it pops off in the future. So
Yeah.
be
for
on the
sure.
lookout for that.
Y'all are going to love this video though. It's really cool. So let me play this for you.
Sounds like a porno name.
Like a documentary.
Yeah. They take a lot of pride in getting a clean product.
Luas kebun kratom ibu sekitar 6 hektar. Banyaknya tanaman yang sudah ibu tanam daun kratom itu sekitar 10.000 batang. Dalam 10.000 batang itu penghasilan satu rate panen itu sekitar 10 ton
10,000
basah
trees.
daun mentahnya.
Wow.
Jadi petani itu setiap hari manen sekitar 1 ton dengan menggunakan petani sekitar 12 orang. Setiap hari kita tidak bisa menentukan harus 1 ton, tergantung cuaca. Kalau cuaca tidak bagus, ibu hentikan pemanenannya tuh. Untuk pengeringan, fasilitas ibu untuk pengeringan sudah siap. Untuk meremah juga ada. Pengeringan ibu mampu menampungkan sekitar 1 ton daun basah per hari.
Yes.
Oke, di belakang saya ini adalah alat proses peremahan menjadi tepung. Di sini remahan dimasukkan dalam satu wadah. Setelah itu wadah juga dijadikan melalui proses. Proses tersebut akan disedot dari alat wadah ini dan tepung akan keluar di sebelah sini. Alat ini menjadi tepung. Setelah itu sisa dari proses tepung itu ada debu dan sedikit sampah akan tersedot oleh dust collector. Dust collector ini fungsinya untuk menyaring segala debu dan sampah-sampah yang sisa-sisa dari hasil proses pertepungan. Setelah itu dari dust collector akan dibuang lagi melalui blower sehingga tidak ada sampah ataupun sisa-sisa yang tidak baik di dalam mesin ini. Setelah itu mesin ini kami juga memiliki standar GMP sehingga tepung yang kami hasilkan akan lembut, bersih, dan bagus.
I love it.
Isn't this cool?
Di sini saya akan menjelaskan salah satu fasilitas keunggulan dari PT Raki Borneo Kratom. Kami memiliki mesin yang berstandarisasi GMP. Mesin ini berguna untuk mensterilisasi segala jenis bakteria yang ada di kratom. Sehingga kami selalu menjamin atas mutu dan kualitas produk kami.
Reminds me when you do ground the coffee beans.
Yeah. They're all suited up. I love this.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Nothing like people think. The haters.
David, how long will that last, y'all? Probably like 5 years.
5 years, yeah.
Yeah.
it really makes you appreciate it even more.
Yes, exactly.
You know, who know? Maybe one of those scoops of that kratom powder is what
Yeah.
saved me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
Isn't that just a
like-
phenomenal
Yeah.
little mini documentary?
I love that, and that's what
It
that's
is.
what GMP for me. You know, I approve 100% GMP compliant vendors. You know, you got these fucking vendors out
Same.
here that think that because they ordered from somebody in Indonesia, that's how it's being processed. No.
Yeah.
Nope. But they come up on here and want to, you know, okay, I'm not even going to go there. Not going there. But, you know, just because a vendor says that their products are GMP, man,
I knew y'all would
ask
like
them to
that
show
video.
you how it was processed.
Yeah,
That
it's,
was amazing.
Yeah.
it just came out like in the past week, and I saw that. I was blown away at the quality of how it's like a documentary, but
Yeah.
you are like, I've seen some of these where you feel behind the scenes, but it's just some dude holding their iPhone. Like, it's not the best quality video, right? This feels like a documentary style of like, this is what goes on. This is how the kratom, this is everything that happens before you get it in your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's even showing like the machines and what I've seen pictures too, and it just shows like pictures of the facility. You know, you
Yeah.
don't see the actual like machines working and what they're doing, and so that was really cool. It would be cool to go from there all the way to when it comes here,
Yeah.
you know, into somebody's hand. But I mean,
Mhm.
that's a whole that'd probably take a long time to do that. But I think that it's really cool to see exactly what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, and Teresa says it's
And
come
like
a long
Misty-
way in the past 9 to 10 years. Because
Yeah.
like years back,
Yeah.
they didn't have facilities like that, like the machines and all that, right? Some of the
Mhm.
videos I've seen is like, oh, that's how it was processed before it got
Right.
to me.
Well, I know some people have I don't know. Who was it that helped a lot of them get machines and stuff like that?
I'm not going
Yeah.
to name the vendor. but
Okay,
you
it
know
was
who
a
they
vendor.
are.
I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was somebody
It's a
else or
cou-
if it was
it's more than one vendor that's done that, where
Yeah.
they
Okay, yeah.
actually rebuilt villages out there.
Yeah, which is amazing.
They provided
Yeah.
electricity for those villages, and y'all, we take for granted over here electricity, but for people in Indonesia, like the farmers, you know, it's like gold to them.
Yeah.
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 You know, and like I said, you got these vendors that they go with certain Indonesian farmers. They will bring it over here. They will repackage it in their kitchens, in their bedrooms. They will say that it's GMP compliant, but they're sitting there. Like, what? Are they even wearing gloves? You know, are they even wearing
Right.
face masks?
Exactly.
Well, we've
this
seen
shit? Do they
pictures.
have a clean room?
Remember some of those pictures? The one in the
Ugh.
kitchen with the
Yeah.
coolers and
Mhm.
their baby in their diaper sitting on
Sitting
one
on
of the
it.
coolers.
I've
It's
seen
like-
pictures of people you know, and I'm not going to name any names, but people that have showed their product on and just nasty, you know, I wouldn't want to, you know, why would you brag about
A
that?
cat walking across
Yeah.
the screen.
Feet in the
Yeah.
picture. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I almost did that. I almost put my foot up.
But yeah, I mean, you know, you got these people that they're just trying to make a quick buck, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I will straight up tell you this right now. If vendors would stop recruiting newcomers who find kratom to promote their products, we would have way more advocates out here. Because when they do that, they get sucked into that vendor war drama.
Yeah.
And it takes up all of that person's new life's energy. Stop doing that. Like kratom, your kratom will sell itself. You don't need to recruit people to do it for you.
Yep. There's enough people that need responsible vendors for them not to need to do that.
It's just
Yeah.
like we're out here literally fighting life and death with these bans that are popping up. You know, look at New Jersey right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why don't you, for those that don't know what's going on, why don't you explain what's happening in New Jersey, Misty?
There's a mom that went to testify saying that her 33-year-old grown-ass fucking son died from kratom, but he had multiple drugs in his system. You know, when they did the first news story on this a while back, that news story actually showed the autopsy report, and I screenshotted that because, you know, these moms aren't going to provide autopsy reports to us when we ask
Right.
them.
Mhm.
So when they did the second news story on this, Mike Overstreet reminded me by posting up about that screenshot. The dude had not methamphetamine. He had amphetamine in his system, which was either Adderall or Ritalin. I don't know. The news guy said it was Ritalin, but I don't know. He had Wellbutrin, he had Benadryl, and he had this tranquilizer called Milltown. He was borderline diabetic, he was obese, and he had heart problems.
And he had a history of being a
Substance use.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he had medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the mom got up there and testified saying that it was kratom that killed her son. So this law is called CJ's law because she doesn't want her son's name, to die in vain.
Well,
So-
even the cause of death was just listed. It wasn't even like
It said drug intoxication with including michigan.
that's yeah.
Yeah, polydrug use, as Twinkle was saying. Let me play the video because I do have it queued up. It's short. And not only, first of all, people in New Jersey should be pissed as shit when they watch this, but the rest of us are fired up too because these are happening out of nowhere. This just came out, a few days ago? Like this just happened. And they want to penalize everybody in the state of New Jersey because of this one adult man. This was not even a child. It's an adult man with polydrugs in his system, a couple of different medical problems he had. It wasn't the kratom alone. And so they want to they want to criminalize this in New Jersey. So,
well, that's like, did you see Claudia's video about, I guess her brother passed away.
From ibuprofen.
And so she was saying, you don't see me and my mom going around saying that,
Yeah.
Right.
So let me play this, see what y'all think.
My son CJ died from drinking kratom. Unbeknownst to anyone, in 2021, as my son was awaiting surgery for a broken humerus bone, he started drinking kratom to help with the pain in his arm. CJ was in recovery from opioids since 2016, and he was told and believed kratom was a safe and all-natural alternative to use instead of jeopardizing his recovery. Kratom is not safe, and it should be illegal. 1 year ago, yesterday, I got the call that my son was unresponsive at his office, a rehab center he worked at, helping others who struggle with addiction. This was his passion. By the time I got to his office, my son was gone. I had no idea that the herbal supplement my son was taking was addictive, and CJ fell victim to kratom. Kratom is highly addictive as it affects the same receptors in the brain that opioids do. But what no one tells you or CJ is that you will get hooked and you can die from this stuff.
Dude, poor Ryan having to sit next to her.
I know.
Like, you see how uncomfortable is that,
Yeah.
I
he
feel
looked
bad. Like, I'm
uncomfortable.
sorry. That's a horrible try. Like, there is nothing worse that could happen to someone is for
Right.
them to lose their kid. Like, there's nothing
100%.
else.
100%.
But, come on.
It wasn't kratom tea.
Seriously, if kratom was so highly addictive and deadly and dangerous, we would not be up here.
Right.
Yes, exactly. There would be so many deaths. It's not.
Yeah.
Talking coherently,
very
we'd be
few-
just
there's
dropping
very
like
few.
fly. There'd just be consistent overturn of Kratom Gals,
Yeah. It just
Y'all
seems
be
like,
dropping like flies.
these people, they either know the right people or maybe have money, lawsuits, even like they get in touch with the right people. And then, you've got these legislators that want to start making laws to ban it just based upon what they're hearing. It's just
And they're
really
backing.
aggravating.
I don't know if she has a lawsuit or not. I haven't been able to
Yeah.
find anything about that
I wouldn't
yet,
be
but
surprised if she did.
the assemblywoman who's sponsoring that bill is a lawyer herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why in the hell would you punish an entire state off of one adult child's decision?
Yeah.
And it wasn't
So is
solely
she-
kratom that killed him.
What did they test the kratom? You know,
Right.
what kind of kratom was it? Was it extracts? Was it powder? Where did he buy it? How much was he consuming? You know, there's a lot of unanswered
Well,
questions.
and Heidi says, why was he waiting to fix a fractured humerus?
I didn't even think
My
about
guess,
that.
well, my guess is because he was formerly addicted to opioids, so he didn't want to take the opioids that the doctors were probably going to prescribe.
Or
him
they wouldn't
for
give it to him, because many times they
Yeah.
won't. When they
Well,
find
that's
out
true
you have a
too, yeah.
history, they won't do it. They make you suffer in pain because they won't prescribe. We hear that so much now.
I don't know. It just bothers me. It's so, you know, they just want everyone to suffer because they're suffering.
Nobody being blinded by grief should be up there making
No.
decisions like that ever.
No.
Yeah. And Carrie's here. Hey, Carrie. She says, how many moms lost their kids to drunk drivers and alcohol still on the
Mhm.
shelf? Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that woman, that mom right there has all these pictures of her holding alcohol. You know, I made
Yes.
a post saying,
You did.
why is it okay for them? That's like spitting in the face of all these alcohol victims. You know,
Yeah.
why is it okay to post
Yeah.
up like celebratory pictures of alcohol? You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no
alcohol
medical-
ruins people's lives every single day.
Sure
You
does.
know,
there's
and
no medical use for alcohol.
no. I hate that it's so, you know, so normalized, you know, like you hear people, you know, joking around about drinking every day and it's completely cool. Like, oh, you know, I'm going to go home or, you know, wearing wine, you know, give me like the socks that say, if you can read this, bring me a glass of wine. You know, I hate the wine moms, dude. I can't stand like going to a school function. They're all joking around
Yeah.
about drinking wine. It's just, I don't know. It's
And
sickening
popping
to see that.
Xanax, you know, popping
Yeah.
Xanax,
Yeah.
you hear that all the time. Why is it that popping Xanax and drinking alcohol is so socially acceptable, but a
Yeah.
plant that saves lives
That's
and helps
That's a
people?
deadly combo by itself.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You know, and bragging about how hungover they are. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
need my coffee. I'm so hungover.
Drank too much last night.
Yeah.
I
You
just,
know,
I don't know.
it's so socially acceptable to do that. And
Right.
like I said, she's up there trying to criminalize New Jersey residents and drinking alcohol. How many folks in New Jersey died from drunk driving?
Right.
Right.
How many kids are getting in their parents' liquor cabinets, getting all fuckered up?
How many kids are dying in college from getting alcohol poison? You
Yeah.
know?
I cannot make it make sense other than she is blinded by grief.
Well, Craig makes a great point. 248 people a day die from alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, creating a black market for kratom definitely will kill. It will kill.
I think everybody knows someone that's life has been affected negatively in some way, shape, or form by alcohol. I mean, everyone. I can name
100%.
more. I mean, even my family, you know, my dad was an alcoholic. I went through my own thing. My brother was, you know, went down the wrong path. I mean, you know, I don't know. It just, I think it's like you see it everywhere all the time because it makes so much money and those big companies are, you know, constantly advertising, you
Yep.
know,
And the
what
way they're
people
getting
see.
away with it is putting warning labels on their products.
Right.
That's how
Right.
big alcohol is able to get away with this shit.
But I
You
mean,
know?
if you hear people say that shit about kratom, it's like, well, there should have been a label on it. But it's like, okay, nobody, you know, that's just,
Who reads the? I'm serious. Who reads the label?
yeah. It's like, dude, when I was smoking cigarettes and drinking out, like I didn't go, oh, you know what? This label says this is addictive.
Yeah.
Or it might give me lung cancer, or it may do this, you know. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to put it down right now. I mean, you know what, you know, you're an adult. You're accepting responsibility for your actions when you do stuff like that. Just so stupid.
That's what I'm saying, Twinkle. How can you advocate against? And kratom will save an alcoholic.
Right.
Yes.
I've seen it happen
Right.
multiple times. You know.
Yes.
You know, like I said, my brother was, when I found my brother dead, he was 35 years old. you know, and he had alcohol in his system and he had Percocet in his system. He was a type 1 diabetic. He had high cholesterol. He had high blood pressure. You know, he had diabetes. He had all these underlying health conditions. But I didn't go on this rampage to go sue alcohol companies or go sue Big Pharma because he had those in his system.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they weren't at dangerous levels, you know, but I suffered from that. I lived with that PTSD of finding him dead and trying to do CPR to revive him, all that shit. That replayed over and over and over in my head. It was one of the main reasons why I stayed in active addiction for so long. You know, but like I said, you don't see me getting up there to legislators talking about, oh, you got to ban this.
Yeah, it'd be like if you had his death certificate and it said all the stuff that was in there, and it said including alcohol, you know, so, and you're going around just the alcohol killed him. Alcohol killed him.
But see,
it's
he
the
was
same
35,
thing.
you know, he died from heart failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's hereditary. It kills the men in my damn family.
Right.
So, you know, seeing her son's autopsy results and comparing it to my brother, it's like, oh my God, but Kratom's the big bad guy here.
Yeah.
Swear.
One day it's going to be at the point where we don't have to constantly fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when. I hope it's in our life. I think it will be in our lifetime. But it just gets, it's so exhausting. It's like, if we get any good news in the community, it's either short-lived and just taken away by something even, you know, it's like every day is like a roller coaster. It's a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, in New Jersey. And the next video I'm going to play.
Yeah, because what happened was we won that fight in Virginia about the board of pharmacy. It's now rejected now. You know, they can't go and try to schedule Kratom because
Which is awesome.
These pharmacists want to ban it. You know, and then we see this New Jersey shit. Then we saw the Rhode Island governor shit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play the Rhode Island. I wanted to play all these for everybody because all this stuff happened this week, and it's just a reminder to everyone that, like we're saying right now, you know, this fight is not over. It's a constant battle. Seems like almost every day. Seems like this week alone, it's been a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. New Jersey came out of the blue this week. The Rhode Island, wait till y'all see the video of what happened. I don't know if everybody's up to speed. You know, first it was, oh, yay, Rhode Island. The bill finally passed in the House and then the Senate. It went to the governor for his signature. If you don't know yet what happened, I'm going to play a video that will. Shall we wait for Misty and Venus to come back? I see they just stepped away.
Well, you know, I was going to say, it's like if there's a week where it's just been kind of quiet, it's almost like, you know what I mean? It's like the quiet before the storm. You know something's about to happen.
Something's about to happen. Yeah, for sure. It just reminds us all that we really got to stay on our toes and be very aware of what's happening. American Kratom Association does a great job keeping us all informed. We do a great job here coming together and sharing all the stuff that we find out. There's also the Twitter audio space that Mike Overstreet and Misty Brown host every other Wednesday. If you're not familiar with that and you want to come be a part of it, you know, reach out to any of us. We can give you the info. But all you need to do is just go to Mike Overstreet's Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, the Kratom Guy, GUI. That's Mike Overstreet, and he hosts it along with Misty Brown and John Griggs when he's able to be there. They're part of Botanical Action Network, and they help us all stay informed of all the latest in the world of advocacy. All right, let's play the latest with Rhode Island, because there's, you know, just a few days ago, we've had an update on what's happening.
First at 4:30, a follow-up to a Target 12 investigation, Kratom controversy. The herbal substance was poised to become legal in Rhode Island after a bill to legalize it passed the House and the Senate. But now the governor has vetoed it. Target 12 investigator Sarah Gurnelli is here now with more on this decision. Sarah?
Well, Kim, Kayla, last night the governor vetoed 5 bills, including the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, that would have legalized Kratom, an illegal substance that we found being in stores illegally in the state. In early June, Target 12 found Kratom being illegally sold in Rhode Island, usually hidden under store counters. Where else can you get this around here?
You can't. It's banned.
Oh, no way.
It's going to be illegal soon.
Shortly thereafter, the General Assembly passed the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, which would have made the herbal substance legal in Rhode Island. But Governor Dan McKee disagreed and he vetoed it on Wednesday, citing health and regulatory concerns. Matt Cadeau from the American Kratom Association says the governor made the wrong move.
So I'm fired up because Rhode Islanders have been deprived of the opportunity to have a substance that, when properly regulated, is safe. When it's not adulterated, and that's what this bill would do to eliminate those products.
Rhode Island is one of a few states across the country where kratom is illegal. Advocates of the herbal plant say it can either boost your mood or mellow you out. They say it can also treat pain and addiction, like for Mike Overstreet from Massachusetts, who turned to kratom after getting hooked on opiates and heroin.
I was grateful that I've found kratom.
In a letter the governor sent the Speaker of the House, he said multiple state agencies, including the Department of Health and the Rhode Island Medical Society, had requested the veto, citing public health concerns such as seizures and liver damage.
The problem is really threefold. One is safety, two is effectiveness, and then three is the risk of addiction and dependency. And we have concerns on all three fronts.
Since kratom won't be legal in the state, it's still considered a Scheduled I drug, meaning people could face prison time if they're caught with it.
Might need to be some more education and some more research done on it. But in the meantime, nobody should be arrested for plants.
The lead sponsor on the bill, State Representative Jay Edwards, says it's unlikely the General Assembly will override the governor's veto. Edwards says he'll be working with the governor and his team to, quote, enlighten them about kratom. With the Target 12 investigators, Sarah Brunelli, 12 News.
Oh, man. How disappointing was that?
I was
very disappointing.
We were all so elated when it finally passed, not just in the House, but in the Senate. It was sitting on his desk to be signed. We're all like, yay, finally, the people of Rhode Island.
Heck, Mike was even talking about getting the house there.
Yeah, moving
He's like, we can finally move to Rhode Island.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, Rhode Island is one of the few handful of states that proactively banned it in 2016, 2017. Because of all that disinformation put out by the FDA and the DEA. And they bought into it because they thought it was going to be federally banned. And we all know that did not happen. The DEA made the big deal, didn't do it. But these states are like, let's go ahead and do it ahead of time. Let's be ready because it's going to be federally banned anyway. Let's show our people we're on top of this. And with all the lies and propaganda, and they never undid it all these years. Is so frustrating.
There's just so many
even with the
people that
stacks
could benefit.
Yep. And even with the stacks of information that were sent to us, and wasn't that one lady that said it might not have been, but don't send me a bunch of other testimonials or something like that, that she had it all under control and knew what she was talking about. And it's like they don't even look at the scientific information that we're sending them. They're just keep going through the stuff the FDA is saying, which isn't true.
I think the whole regulation thing, just like in my eyes, I think that a lot of times they want to make it much harder than it needs to be. Like they want, a lot of money, or they're looking at it as like, oh, we're going to create this whole new regulatory department for the whole state. And it's like, dude, it don't have to be that hard.
No.
It's already working in the KCPA states. You know what I mean?
And like that journalist said that, it's still being sold in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
What enforcement are they doing?
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
People are selling it illegally. So,
and it's obviously not that much of a menace or a health concern.
Right. They be finding them everywhere.
But like Claudia says, this is totally about Suboxone.
Totally.
The original person who, I forgot the legislator's name, but the original person who wanted to keep kratom illegal in Rhode Island, went to a different state. I think he's in New York now or something. Department of Health. I can't remember his name. But it's all about Suboxone. It's all about it.
Yeah, well, like that doctor they interviewed, he's talking about addiction and dependency. It's like, bro, Suboxone.
He just described Suboxone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Described almost damn near everything you find in the gas station.
Yeah. There's an interesting comment from Carrie just a little while ago. I wanted to save it for you, Misty, when you come back. It says, can the American Kratom Association contact Congress to get the Protection Act passed federally? That's what they've been trying to do, right?
It's why we went to D.C.
Yeah, but each state's representative has to vote on it. So that's what y'all were doing, was going and talking to, everybody was going to talk to their states about it.
Yeah, we need more co-sponsors on that federal KCPA bill.
Yeah, which is something that everybody here can do. You can go reach out online. You can call them up, your House and your Senate reps that are in Washington. You have 2 senators in your state and you have 1 House rep that's local to the part of your state you live in. And those 3 people, you can reach out and just share your story. Let them understand, like, this plant is important to you.
And you also have district reps and councilmen, and you need to speak to
Like
all of
local
them, all
level.
the way down
Yeah.
to the district level. Yeah.
Yeah, local level. Doesn't hurt, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we have another video. This is the AKA in California. So let me play this for y'all.
AB 2365 by Assemblymember Haney, who again has waived presentation. Is there anyone here who would like to testify in support of 2365? Anybody in opposition? Welcome.
Madam Chair, thank you. My name is Matt Caddo. I'm the senior fellow in public policy with the American Kratom Association. We're the largest consumer advocacy group in the country, having helped pass 13 Kratom Consumer Protection Acts in the states. 14th is Rhode Island, previously banned there, is on the governor's desk this week. We are opposed currently to the language of AB 2365 because the cost of this regulatory scheme that's contemplated in this bill will result in one of 2 outcomes. One is the product registration fees, which we support should be borne by manufacturers, will be so onerously high that it will become anti-competitive, or it would impose a burden on California taxpayers in order to fund this over-regulation based on the current language. It would, secondly, result in a dramatic reduction in product availability because those fees would bar many small businesses who currently produce safe, high-quality Kratom products from being able to enter the marketplace. In Colorado, Governor Paulus rejected a similar regulatory scheme, saying that it would interfere with the rights of individual Kratom consumers to have access. In Florida, in a similar regulatory scheme that was just proposed, in the first year, the product registration fees would be $10,500 per product. In the second year, it would be $7,000. That would reduce consumer access, be anti-competitive, and eliminate many small businesses from the marketplace. In the state of Utah, where this law, what we call the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, has safely protected consumers for the last 4 years, the registration fees are only $240, and retail establishments pay between $150 and $750 per registrant based on size and size of location, number of employees. That's a more rational way of doing this. Even the Global Kratom Coalition, that is a manufacturers group that supports this, admits there will be at least $1,700 per registrant. And that is, of course, grossly understated because we know, based on the evidence and data, that it will be much higher than that. So we ask for your opposition to this legislation when it comes before you.
Very good. Anyone else in opposition?
All right, so that was
it's pretty much just if you
California.
have money, you can sell it.
Yeah.
It's like, so it'd be the bigger vendors that would be able to pay the registration fees.
I'm not going to name the vendor, but this vendor, it seems like it's trying to control the monopoly in California.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was trying to think. Monopoly is what I was going for. That's what it would end up being, though. It wouldn't be like a fair market.
And this vendor is also funding a advocacy group. So y'all need to pay attention.
Yeah. Lots have been going on. That's for sure. And if anybody's just joining us, hello, we're the Kratom Gals. We've been hanging out for gosh, over an hour now, just watching videos. We've been watching some really cool ones here. Misty just had her 5-year anniversary celebrating this week. We played a really cool video. Well, all the videos we're watching today, if anybody, first of all, if anybody got here late, you can always watch the replay when this live stream is over. You can always watch. This is recorded, so wherever you're watching right now, you can watch the replay. Also, later, I will take all the links to all the videos we're watching today and put that into the description over in YouTube. So if you go to Kratom Stories Podcast on YouTube for this live stream, I'll have them all in there later today. Especially, I'm sure some of y'all want to go back and watch that one in Borneo, watching how Kratom is picked from the trees and how they use all the fancy machines and do everything before that bag of Kratom comes to you. That's one of the, I'm telling you, that's one of the best videos I've ever seen of the process. Yeah. So I'm sure some of y'all are going to want to watch it over and over and share it with other people. If you can't find it and you can't figure out how to get to the description where I'll have it later, just send me a private message. Send me a private message on Twitter, TikTok, email me, go to kratomstoriespodcast.com, message me over there. I'm very easy to find. My name is Madalyn. So hit me up and I'll get you that link. We've also been watching a variety of videos that came out this week. CJ's Law that's happening in New Jersey. We just watched California, also Rhode Island. There's a lot happening. I mean, these are all videos I'm playing today that are from this week.
Yeah.
Usually we don't have this much. Usually I'm playing a variety of videos, like new videos. And then, here's an old news story on Kratom from 5 years ago or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. There's always so many interesting videos to watch, but everything I'm playing today is like new. And my next one I'm going to play is a really interesting news report out of Pittsburgh that came out a few days ago that I think y'all will find interesting. So let's play this and see what y'all think.
Critics call them a plague on the landscape. Smoke and vape shops springing up in business district after business district, town after town. Municipalities have no power to limit their growth and complain that they're cheapening their shopping districts and posing a danger to young people.
KDKA lead investigator Andy Sheehan looks at the sudden rise in the vaping business and efforts to rein them in.
They're just about everywhere you look these days, in every business district, nearly every town. The past few years has seen an explosion of smoke and vape shops popping up in empty storefronts, selling all sorts of untested, unregulated products, Kratom, Delta-8, and THCA.
There's no regulations, there's really no oversight, and, so they're operating in a very, very, possibly dangerous gray area because there's just no information about what it is that they're selling and what's in it.
Across the state, the number of licenses to sell these non-tobacco related products has more than tripled over the past 5 years. In Allegheny County alone, there are now 1,286 licenses, accounting for all those smoke shops selling other things than tobacco. And municipalities have no power to limit their number. As a result, they're growing on the South Side, Oakland, and Squirrel Hill. And even suburban townships like Hampton are not immune. There are now 5 there along Route 8 and another on the way. An easy business to start, there are few regulations. And the State Department of Revenue will issue a license to operate for a mere $25 a year.
They're legal businesses and they are allowed to do what they do with that $25 license, but I don't know anything else about the inspections or what else they're selling.
Community advocates say they cheapen the shopping districts, and what they're selling has become a flashpoint of controversy. Kratom and CBD have both their detractors and supporters, but some shops now offer a product called THCA, which is cannabis that won't get you high in its raw form, but will if it's heated, smoked, or vaped. Stores like Keystone Vapors even advertise themselves as THCA dispensaries, but they're not to be confused with medical marijuana dispensaries, which are heavily controlled, regulated, and licensed by the state.
The amount of money that it requires in order to set up a medical marijuana dispensary is substantial. This is $25 a year.
But right now, there are few laws governing these operations, and so far, the efforts of law enforcement to crack down on the smoke shops have fallen short. Recently, the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office raided and shut down this smoke shop in Market Square. District Attorney Stephen Zappala vowed to take the building.
If I can take the building, I'm going to take the building as part of an organized criminal enterprise.
But while Zappala charged the owners with selling real marijuana, the owners contend it is legal THCA. The building and the business reopened within days, and that case is headed to court. And so is there anything being done to rein in the expansion of these shops or regulate what they sell? Tomorrow night, I'll take a look at some measures being considered in Harrisburg and across the state.
So there you go.
It doesn't turn into THC until it's lit with a flame.
It's like, well, I don't understand what the whole point of that thing was. Like, it sounds like the municipalities are just mad because they're paying $25 to get a license to sell stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they changed the law.
And stuff
make
that's
it higher.
legal. It's stuff that's legal. Delta 8, this THCA, Kratom, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
the-
husband got a vape with that THCA, and I think it was another one of the alphabets or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said it was just like Delta 8.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I mean,
$25 registration fee, and then you got the organization in California that wants to do what did Max say, 10,000 something?
well,
Or, I
they
don't remember.
said 17, but Max said that was very under. So let's just say I think you said like 5,000.
Oh man,
It was a lot.
Yeah. I think
So
with the smoke shops are cropping up like crazy all over the country.
Yeah.
I mean, this was specifically Pittsburgh and in Pennsylvania for this particular report. It sounds like people are getting upset because all this stuff is coming in that's legal but unregulated, as that one lady said in the report, and that they could do this for a $25 fee. It sounds like people are like, these are people living the capitalist dream. They found a way to make money.
Yeah.
And
and
it's
if
like
they
they're
don't
not about to regulate this Delta. Like they want to get rid of that stuff.
Oh, they are
because
going
they've spent
after
all
it
this
big
time to
time.
get money from
Yeah.
the actual marijuana. Like I say, just drop everything synthetic, make the plant legal.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, the Delta 8 and the Delta 9s they've been popular for years because of that hemp law. What was that, 2018, I think it was, or 2016. I don't remember
I
what
think
year
it was
that was.
16.
So whenever that happened, they figure out how they could do that process. It is synthetically done, but it's been legal. But yeah, I know here in Texas, they're going after it big time. They are trying
Regulate
so
it.
hard to shut it down.
regulate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I'm
just
all
regulate
for
it.
not having smoke shops near schools and stuff like that. I'm
Yeah.
cool
Of
with that,
course.
Right.
Absolutely.
Don't ban the shit. Regulate it.
But it's like I just hate that at the same time, Kratom gets lumped in with these bills that are
Yeah.
bringing in. It's
Like-
like, dude, like these are nothing the same.
Like in
They're
North Carolina.
Not
right
at all.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I played this video, because of course they bring up Kratom. We know the
Mhm.
smoke shops sell Kratom. Pretty much every one of those stores you see Kratom on the sign.
It's like they're
Um,
planting a seed.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. They're lumping us in with all the synthetic stuff. And so just wanted to get y'all's take on that, see what y'all thought. This next video I'm playing is really interesting. It just came out a week ago. Like everything is just so new. It's from an NBC News report. It's a program called Stay Tuned. It's 9 minutes long. It's actually kind of long, but it's a look at Kratom. It's called Lethal Drug or Beneficial Supplement. Here's the truth about Kratom. And I felt it was very balanced. I think y'all had seen it too and thought the same. So I wanted to play it because I love for our community here to share their thoughts as well. So let's play this, and y'all feel free to comment. Those that are here live, if you're watching the replay, you can comment wherever you're watching live or the replay as well.
This is Kratom, and depending on who you ask, it's a potentially lethal drug or a harmless supplement with a bunch of different benefits. I had never heard of it until I saw this TikTok from a popular influencer.
So I've just been going to coffee shops, chugging my gas station crack, and doing my taxes.
So we decided to dig in. Stay Tuned spent weeks talking to pharmacologists, recreational users, the mother of a Kratom user who died, and the American Kratom Association to answer 5 questions. What is Kratom? What is it used for? Is it dangerous? How available is it? And ultimately, should it be legal?
I had so much fun doing my taxes, which made no sense. I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like suggesting them to everyone and calling my friends. And I'm like, you got to get it.
We wanted to chat with Emmy first because her video about using Kratom went viral.
This is very LA of me, but I love like any drink that's like, be happy, feel good. Cause usually it's vitamins, but this was in a coffee shop. So I bought it and then I drank it to do my taxes. I felt relaxed. I felt a little happy. So I kept drinking them.
Somebody said, that is I like how they put not actually a synthetic opioid right there.
Well, they're
NBC
showing Kratom powder
Yeah.
as she's talking about this. She's talking about those feel-free tonics, right?
No.
Which
No,
one
she's
was
talking
it?
about
Oh, wait, what was the name
canned
of it?
one.
It was New Brew.
Yeah.
New Brew.
Where
I
Kratom
can
and
imagine.
okay.
Yeah, the Kratom Kava is a drink.
LA.
Why didn't they show that? Why were they showing Kratom powder? That's not what she was consuming, you know.
But for those of you that didn't see her original TikTok video, that video right there, you know, she
Yeah, it's
talked about
from
how
this.
her friend told her that she's drinking synthetic opioids. And then later she recanted that story, but she still refused to take that
Yes.
video down because it got millions.
Yeah,
of
and
views.
it's like I was saying, like if there's a slow week in the Kratom advocacy world, you know, it's like the calm before the storm. It's either some stupid crap of legislators or some idiot on social media that goes viral, just spreading misinformation. And
we had to mop up her mess. We had to mop up her mess. And
That
she
was a
never,
big one.
I tagged her 7 days straight. I tagged her. She did not comment or answer none of my questions. She didn't want to take that video down. So, you know, all for likes and views. That's it.
It's like anybody that can listen to her and I don't know, even think that think that what she's saying is coming from a intelligent point of view when it comes to Kratom.
Good way.
Then, you know, get out of here. Get out of here.
But the story, the guy said at the beginning, the story started because of this
Yeah.
viral video that she made talking about how that New Brew.
Yeah, and it got millions upon millions upon millions of views.
And the people
y'all.
were
A lot of views.
trying to piggyback off of her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to make their
And then she
video go
was
viral
mad.
with her.
She was mad because at that time when she posted this video, she wasn't monetized. So she was mad.
So she didn't
that
make any
she-
money off of all those millions
Yeah.
of views. Oh, too bad. All right, let's keep going with this.
Emmy's experience mirrors a lot of what we saw in our reporting. Many people don't really know what Kratom is before trying it out.
Ron White brought a bunch into the club. Those things.
Talking
I
to
don't
the
know
wrong
what's
people.
going on with those things. Whew, those put you in a nice place.
So what exactly is it? Kratom is a plant that's native to Southeast Asia. Most of it comes from Indonesia, Malaysia, or Thailand. It's most often ground into a powder and consumed either brewed as a tea or in a capsule. While it's not an opioid, the active ingredient metrogenine can stimulate the same brain receptors as opioids, which means Kratom can become addictive to some users.
That falls between all of these different regulations. It's not a dietary supplement. It's not a prescription drug, but it's not a banned substance.
Michael White is the director of pharmacy practice at the UConn School of Pharmacy. Some estimates suggest Kratom is about a $1.5 billion a year industry. And according to a recent study, an estimated 1.7 million Americans 12 or older used Kratom in 2021. White says there are 4 primary groups of Kratom users. 1, people with opioid use disorder who are using Kratom to either tie them over until they can get more opiates or attempting to wean off harder stuff. 2, people who are using Kratom as a chronic pain management tool. 3, people who are using it to manage anxiety, depression, or some other mood disorder. And 4, people who like the stimulant effects, which could include the sober curious or a caffeine replacement.
We don't know how many products are being sold in the country. We don't know who is selling the products, in what concentrations. We don't know where they're making the products.
White said one of the biggest issues is that there's almost no quality control for these products.
No one wants to buy a product and have the product be laden with lead and arsenic and tin. But I can tell you that there are a number of Kratom products that are being sold right now that exceed the FDA regulations for drug products and dietary supplements for all of those heavy metals.
One of the other main
Shady-ass
dangers he
vendors.
pointed out was that it's really hard to know what exactly is in
Yep,
any product
are
labeled kratom.
vendors.
It might be kratom, but it also might be something synthetic and possibly dangerous. For a lot of products, there's no dosing information on the packaging, so you don't know how much to take. And finally, according to White, kratom can change the way your body breaks down other drugs in ways that can be dangerous to your health if you're using multiple substances at once.
I think we've shown with medical marijuana laws, and I think we've shown with recreational cannabis product laws inside various states that we can do a lot better.
Everyone we've talked to about kratom told us how easy it is to buy online and in person. So we're in downtown Manhattan to do just that, buy some kratom. Do you sell kratom? Just over here? Do you have kratom? Oh, I already see it in the window. Can I get the blue one with the pill? Sure. Do people buy this a lot?
Yeah, we've got them.
Where are the bodies outside of the building?
Wow.
This, I think for the blue one, it's the last one that we got. Like.
Oh, you have a bunch. Okay. Everything we've heard about how easy it is to find and buy kratom is true. We went to half a dozen smoke shops and convenience stores within a 3-block radius, and all of them had kratom.
Why wouldn't it be
still
true?
have to be,
It's
of
legal there. It's legal there. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Why is he making it sound like,
Right.
ooh, he's doing something that's not legal and he was able
Right.
to do it?
Like to walk in a smoke shop, you're supposed to be 21, first of all.
Yeah.
And then, like, secondly, when that dude is checking you out at these places, wherever you're going to buy it, I mean, you should be carded.
Yep.
So, like, I hate it when they do this and they
Yeah.
don't say, but they card, they made sure, they don't
Yeah.
include that part of it,
And that's legal there. It's legal where he's at in New York. So, yeah.
I wish I
don't
could
know.
talk
he's
my
at a
12-year-old
Wawa or
into going.
something.
I wish I could tell my 12-year-old into going and being like, dude, go in here and tell him you want some kratom. I may have to talk him into it for the next year, promising something real good just to try it.
Where they're doing that in Florida, where they're sending in
Yeah.
undercover people to see if they get carded.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We've finished
In
playing.
different forms: tablet, powder, leaf, and liquid.
Did you try it?
This is Brendan with Ozzy when Ozzy was a baby. Brendan was my youngest son, and he was 48 when he died. He died of an overdose of kratom.
Do you remember the first time you heard about kratom? What went through your mind?
It didn't strike me as terribly serious. It's, you can buy it at the vape shop.
And the fact that it's unregulated by the FDA and there's a bunch of warnings. I mean,
Yeah.
when you learned all of that, what went through your mind?
When Brendan died, when we went into the house, we found the box of kratom, or it was empty. And on that box, it said something along the lines of, we cannot be held responsible for any adverse side effects of taking kratom. And there was no dosage advice. There was nothing except, hey, not our problem. If you die, it's on you, man. Ozzy, look at the squirrel. It's up there. The toxicology report showed there was nothing else in his system except kratom and a small amount of anti-seizure medication that he got at the hospital.
Tell me a bit more about Brendan. What was he like?
Brendan was a character. He was very creative. He built this fence, and it's a beautiful fence. You want the red one? He had a daughter. Her name is Devin. And Devin is now 17. She was 15 when he died. One of the things he always gave me was beautiful earrings. He would buy earrings for me.
I've asked about the impact that Brendan's death has had on the family, but what about you? How has his death impacted you?
I'm still mad at Brendan. I'm mad at him for dying. I'm mad at him for taking kratom. He was a grown-up. He should have known better. I don't know why he was taking it. I don't know when anger goes away. It's easier to be mad than to be sad.
So should kratom be legal? Should it be regulated?
Hey, consumers should be aware. So first step is look at the labeling. If there's nothing there, don't use it. If it makes a therapeutic claim, don't use it, because we want to make sure people are protected. The manufacturing of kratom products in the United States is pretty much the Wild West because the FDA refuses to responsibly regulate these products.
We reached out to the FDA for comment, but the agency didn't respond by the time we recorded this. On its website, the FDA says kratom is not appropriate for use as a dietary supplement and warns consumers not to use it. Meanwhile, the DEA has listed kratom as a drug of concern and has yet to exercise its authority to label or restrict it.
As we approach this at the American Kratom Association, we want good manufacturing standards in place.
While Haddow did say the AKA supports minimum age requirements for buying kratom, he pushed back on the idea that it shouldn't be available at gas stations, grocery stores, or coffee shops.
I could give you a dozen products you can buy at a gas station today that have more harmful effects than kratom would ever have. There are some bad actors in the system who are deliberately adding things to kratom that are not natural and that they make the products dangerous because they boost the effects of kratom. But it's not going to be ultimately dangerous unless it is an adulterated product or being so horrendously abused by someone that they harm themselves, which would be the rare occasion.
One of the issues is that it falls between all of these different regulations, and there's no one that's really in charge of protecting you. And in that ambiguity, there's a lot of wiggle room for people to do what they can to try to make a buck in the marketplace while they still can.
Stop supporting those vendors that do that shit.
Yeah. My thing too is, again, it kills me when I hear she's like, talking about they found it on the scene, of course.
Yeah.
And she read the label and, it's like, you take full responsibility and, taking this, like, we don't, and it's like, okay, yeah. I mean, it's not jumping off the shelf and shoving itself down your throat. Like, you as an adult are choosing to take that.
Right.
That'd be like, I mean, that's what cigarettes say on it. That's what alcohol says on it. That's what a thousand things that we see every day. Like, it's going to have a disease. I just hate hearing that because it's like people act like they're being forced.
Right.
Like they've been forced or I don't know, lied to, like, hey, if you take this elixir, you'll live 20 years longer. Like it's some kind of conspiracy going on.
Yeah.
What anti-seizure med was he on? Was he on Klonopin? When I was prescribed Klonopin for my seizures. I'm no longer on that. I just take Keppra now, but Klonopin is a depressant.
Did he have any, medical issues? Had he ever done substance? There's a lot.
He wasn't young, 48 years old. I mean,
Right.
God, there's so many factors. What gets to me is, there was kratom in his home.
At the scene.
At the scene.
So it's like, oh, and kratom in his system with something else. Yeah, what kind of medical issues, when you're 48, you're not a spring chicken.
No.
Right.
Or there's going to probably be some health issues. And life, I mean, young and old drop dead from things. It just happens. It's life, Kratom gets blamed so much.
It's the legal scapegoat.
Yeah.
It really is.
I feel like it's just, honestly, at the end of the day, it's just people either, not wanting to do their job because they don't want to, or because they were told not to, or because maybe they don't even have the resources. Like I know Max said that some places don't actually have the right equipment to test the correct way. But
create jobs.
Right.
Make it. Make it create jobs to do this.
But just because it was found on the scene, if my son would have died, I would want to know the actual reason. I would want to see tests done. I would want to see, do an autopsy, like do what you're supposed to do. Don't just assume and be like, oh, that's the easy way out. We don't have to do all this work now. We'll just say it was that because it's found
a lazy corner, and we've heard stories about that with some of these like smaller towns, and they're not fully testing, and they see the kratom sitting out. Oh, it's the kratom's fault. shut
Yeah.
case.
And
We're done.
if they're saying it's kratom, they need to tell us what the lethal dose is.
Yeah.
What is
Exactly.
the amount? So we don't go to that amount.
Because the FDA so far is saying it's safe at all doses. I mean, look at how much
Right.
in their single dose study they did, how much they gave people. It would make me sick, the amount they gave people, and all it did was cause nausea
Right.
in a couple of them. And it's
2
just
out of the
beyond
40
me that,
people.
yeah, it's just beyond me that, like, I mean, we know it's government, so it'll take forever for them to go update their website, which, you know, in this report, the guy shows the FDA website, a drug of concern. There's going to come a day where the FDA is going to have to change their website.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing the studies, they're doing the testing. It doesn't correlate with what their website says. But they're not going to change it until they absolutely have to. So when's that day going to come? It's frustrating.
When
To
hell
the
freezes
last minute.
over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long time.
They don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, and because they're so narcissistic like that, you know, these anti-kratom freaking wackos out here are just dancing along with it, you know. Oh, the FDA says, well, guess what, Karen? Your vitamins aren't FDA approved. You know, your energy drinks.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're not going to get
Your
into politics, but anybody that's like blaming the current administration for any of this stuff, the DEA, the FDA, this has been going on for multiple
Yes.
administrations. This is not, when I lost access to my FDA approved opioids, it was the previous administration. But I don't sit here and blame, because then also when you look back to when all that started with those rules with prescribing, that happened the administration before that. Like, so I
Yeah.
get tired of people blaming
Right.
like whoever's
I mean,
the
it goes
current
all the way back
administration.
to when the war on drugs started.
Yeah,
It goes all
totally.
like
Totally.
it's been something that's been going on for many years, but people don't really notice it until it affects them, you know, and they just
Right.
kind of
Yeah. And Craig brings up a great point. Why isn't that FDA single dose study talked about more? So our understanding is back in February, the FDA came out. It was a kratom symposium. I think it was Florida, and with all the scientists and AKA and other groups, and the FDA came and shared the results of this single dose study, the one we've all been hearing about, where they gave, 25 grams in a 5-minute or 10-minute period, something like that, capsules.
12 grams.
12 grams. I just know it was a lot. And they
There's
gave it to
24
them in this-
capsules.
24
Yeah.
capsules. Okay. In a short period, like 5-minute period, I think it was, they had to consume all this. And out of the 40 participants, 2 of them had nausea. That was it. Now, I think pretty much all of us here would say if I had to take 24 capsules in 5 minutes and
Of
12
anything.
grams, I would probably puke.
Oh, yeah.
But like they, you know, it's a government agency. You know, they're not rushing to publish it. My understanding is they're going to publish it later this year. I think November or December. I'm sure they'll put it off as long as they can. I just would like to see that made public, because all of the anti-kratom people have no idea this study has happened.
right.
Because
Right.
the FDA won't go on record with any of this stuff. All they did was show up at a symposium with a small group of people and relay the findings, but they haven't been public with it yet. It's frustrating.
Yeah. And they won't go looking for it.
No,
Oh,
they go
no.
on the FDA's website, just like on this news story. They show the FDA's website. What's it say? Drug of concern.
They use that Google machine.
They sure
Trust the
do.
old Google machine.
I don't know why my camera keeps doing this. Come on, camera, stop making me all blurry. Okay, this next video I'm going to show y'all is pretty short. It's like a minute and a half, but I find it funny because kratom is becoming really popular in the bodybuilding community. And if you saw the documentary A Leaf of Faith, you know, Chris Bell, who created the documentary, he's very big in like the powerlifting community and the bodybuilders. And it seems like a lot of people in that community are very big on kratom. So this is somebody from that community who just a short, like 1.5 minute video, but he's going off on some video he saw from an anti-kratom person. And what's funny, one of the things, there's multiple things you'll find funny in this very short video, but the one thing I didn't even realize at first, he refers to this video as Goon Nootropics, Goon. But when you look at the link on the website is Go Nootropics, but he calls them Goon. Maybe he does it on purpose. Maybe he does on purpose.
Yeah.
But when you look at, because let me just pull up the page. I don't know if you're on your phone, this might be too small, but is way down here. It does say because he links to it. It does say Go Nootropics, but he says Goon, and it does kind of look like Goon, but it's. He says a couple of funny things in this, so I wanted to play it for y'all. See what y'all. Hold on, let me pull it up full screen. Okay.
So this goon called Go Nootropics was talking all this crazy shit about kratom and how it destroyed his life, and it made his pee-pee not be able to get hard. And that's the funniest thing, because the UFC told their fighters that too. You know what I mean? Because the pharmaceutical industry doesn't want you to know that kratom will save your life. But anyways, this goofball is talking about how kratom ruined his life and this, that, and the other thing and all this. I'm gonna just watch the video if you want. Kratom, this guy's obviously, I'll just say this, okay? If kratom ruins your life and you're here on YouTube in a house with a roof over your head, you're not making this video under a bridge. I don't really see how kratom ruined your life. You could have maybe worded it like, in my opinion, blah, 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 because you're really doing a disservice to people that could use this. It's a plant, okay? This shit right here ain't gonna ruin your life, okay, unless it's like nightshade. So if you want to watch the video, go ahead. I'm going to put it in the description. It's just crazy talk from this goofball. And it's like, I just say this in closing. Anybody that says that kratom is going to ruin your life or it's going to kill you, or they either have no experience using kratom or no experience with addiction or using hard drugs, or a combination of both. Okay? Goon Nootropics.
Goon Nootropics. It's got a kick out of that. But he makes some really great points in that video, so I knew y'all would like it. And the video he's referring to is gosh, why does my camera keep doing this? The video he's referring to is too long. The guy talks is a different one than I share with you.
Yeah.
Different guy. Talks too slow, goes too long, rambles, and it's not even worth watching. I've tried to watch this guy's videos, and it's terrible.
I just like how he uses goofball.
Yeah. But I like Goon. That's just so funny, Goon.
It's it's like we're currently dealing with this douchebag on TikTok. You consume 125 grams of kratom per day, but yet it's kratom's fault.
Again, it's not shoving it down. It's not jumping out the bag and making you take it. Like,
who consumes that much?
Right.
That's a lot of powder.
Dude,
That's
that's
a crazy amount of powder.
Then he talks about how he couldn't crap for a week and
I
all this stuff. And but he was previously addicted to alcohol and Adderall, and then he got addicted to kratom. And now kratom is this big bad guy. You know,
right?
It's you. You don't trust
yourself. Work on yourself.
Right.
And
Absolutely,
then, like I
work
said,
on
with
yourself.
these anti-kratom fucks out here, like these, I call them kratom detractors because they were once advocates for kratom, but then all of a sudden kratom turned on them. I'm telling you, our stories, because we were successful with our kratom, irritates the hell out of them.
Yeah.
And I am not sorry. I took the time to work on me. I worked on me and my whys of addiction, and kratom allowed me to do that. I'm sorry it didn't do that to you. We're not out here trying to chase that imaginary dragon. They're like, kratom has a ceiling effect to it, and anytime you dose after, because everybody's different, but anytime you dose after that ceiling effect, you're just overloading your body. That's on you.
Honestly, anybody that goes down the whole, what do you call them, detractors?
Detractors, yeah.
Yeah, anybody that, if you're already educated on kratom, okay, and you've been taking it for a while, and you're you're making the decision to either, go and start the extract shots or something, or, take 125 grams a day, but it's still like, dude, that's on you. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with Kratom. I think that they're just pissed off because, they couldn't handle it because they couldn't take care of what they needed to take care of with their inside of their own thing. But I mean, I think also people just like to have something to blame.
Yeah.
And they get attention on social media just because they're making these videos, and they know that a lot of people are going to be like, yeah, you're right. It wasn't your fault. It's all about Kratom, screw those. And it's like, dude, really? Anybody
that's literally what I'm witnessing now is his new social media addiction that he's got going on.
Exactly.
So ain't no way this dude is taking no time to himself to work on himself.
Yeah.
So,
and I think any of them, even the chronic pain patients that have been in chronic pain and ignored by doctors for years and years and years, I think we all need to go back and work on ourselves, because when you first start taking Kratom and you wake up and you look around and you really, it's not bright, and it's just, there's a lot that you have to go back and deal with, and that it's, in my opinion, it would be easier. That would make me think, well, I don't want to deal with this. I'd rather go and get high instead, because there's a lot to deal with. So you have to deal with that and deal with you and why and everything that's going on around you, or else it's not going to work.
Misery loves company.
Mhm.
People are literally like, people are addicted to grief. People are addicted to misery, and I have no problems if you want to go out there to the world and find your, niche of people. I don't give a shit about that, but don't go bashing Kratom because you had the problem with it.
Right. And then bash just on such a level that it's, I don't know, it's just so over the top, and I don't know, it's bothersome to see. It's just, it gets on my nerves because, it's common sense. Anybody can honestly see that, hey, dude, maybe you shouldn't have done that.
Right.
But, to sit there and see everybody just sucking it down and giving those views and giving those likes, and it's like,
it's like how you hardly see any positive Kratom news stories because the positivity doesn't sell. It doesn't get the views.
Right.
The negative shit does.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
all the
scary
clickbaity-
music as they're walking in the store.
Oh my God, so stupid. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of crazy stuff out there, and people are doing to get the likes is sick.
Yeah.
This last video I was going to play, because I mean, we're already coming up at 2 hours, which is crazy. And there's 100 people here live. Thank you all, 100 of you for being here live.
Everybody.
Or broadcasting all over social media. We're on multiple YouTubes, Facebooks, Twitter, X. Oh, there you go, Jennifer. I'm going to have to get me a new computer since this one's crapping out. And when I do, since
I wish everybody could do
I'll be
it.
able to do
I
that
know.
too. That's a do. You got to be on a Mac. It's a StreamYard thing. You got to be on a Mac, and you got to have a more updated iOS. I'm on an older one. I can't wait to be able to do that. That's so cool. This next video I'm going to play, I'm sure we're going to stop and talk quite a bit, but it's a long video. I'm just going to play them in pieces here the next several weeks. It's a video from Mark Bell. This is Chris Bell's brother. Chris Bell, known for creating A Leaf of Faith, the documentary we talk about quite a bit. This is his brother, Mark Bell, who, just like Chris Bell's in the, bodybuilding, weightlifting world. And he has a really popular YouTube channel called Mark Bell's Power Project, with over 350,000 subscribers. And they did a really long episode, an hour and 20 minutes long, talking about Kratom. And they brought on a special guest. They brought on Alexander Karp from Etha Botanicals. This is somebody that I've interviewed for the Kratom Stories podcast. By the way, quick shout out. I saw a comment earlier when we were watching one of those videos from Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. She says, I've been binging the Kratom Stories. When I'm in my garden, they motivate me. That is so awesome. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. The Kratom Stories podcast, I've interviewed both founders of Etha Botanicals. They're both super interesting guys. And I did them as separate interviews. So Alexander Karp was one of them. So he's in this discussion with Mark Bell and this other guy that I guess is one of Mark Bell's regulars. So they basically do kind of like an interview talking about kratom, but since it's so long, we won't have time to watch. We'll watch some of it, and just let me know when y'all want me to pause so we can talk about some of this stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, and some of you might have just gotten here recently and don't know, I will have links to all the videos we've watched later after we're done with this live stream. I always put it into the Kratom Stories podcast YouTube. So the YouTube channel where this live stream is, I always put all the video links in there in case anybody wants to just go back and watch them separate from the live stream replay. And if some of y'all, want to keep watching this video I'm about to show you and don't want to wait until next week to see us watch more of it together, you can just watch it on your own. So, and if you can't find where the link is, just reach out to me, send me a private message. I'll send you the link. Just let me know which one you want and I'll send it to you. So yeah, let's watch some of this together. Y'all let me know if you want me to stop at any point to talk.
I've been vilifying, I've been demonizing this plant, and it really doesn't deserve it.
What do you think that some of the negativity comes from? Deaths that were assumed to be kratom. It was not only kratom.
It was a coping mechanism. I was taking it so that I can continue keeping things the same and not face them, because facing them was terrifying.
What's a decent dosage? People on average consume somewhere between 1 to 5 grams of kratom for a single dose.
Whatever happens to you is your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of this. If you choose to drink 6 of these, don't blame kratom.
I'll just flat out say I've been addicted to it before. I like to utilize it for running. When I'm pairing those two things together, I'm kind of having a party.
And I like it when I do jujitsu, but that's the thing, it feels too good sometimes.
Right. So, Alex, great to have you on the show today. We're going to do a deep dive on kratom and probably get into some other stuff too, maybe some kava. Thank you so much for the kratom plant. I think it's important that we keep this thing alive. So how do we keep this kratom plant alive?
Kratom traditionally likes a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, and a lot of water and nutrients. So
what about singing to it? I think that's important, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's in general, I think the energy we give off and things we have around us, we get a lot from plants and nature, and we kind of give that back, that positive energy. I think it would definitely help it.
I got a song here for it. Play that for the plant. It's not growing, Alex. I don't understand what's happening. Anyway, is kratom safe? That's what a lot of people want to know.
Kratom in its natural form, as long as it's only kratom, not adulterated, not contaminated, seems very safe. And this came from the FDA. Actually, just did a single ascending dose study. And they've not.
I'm going to stop real quick. So that symposium I talked about earlier with the FDA, shared the results. He was there. So a lot of information I've learned about it was from Mac Hadow and also from Alex because he was there.
Published this yet, but it has been kind of made available.
What was that?
That symposium was secretly done.
I heard about it ahead of time, but it was like an invite only type thing.
Yeah, it wasn't open to the public.
No.
To the American Kratom Association.
Wow, the FDA?
The FDA.
Study on kratom?
Yes.
That's great.
It's amazing. And what they found was that, so they took 40 people and they broke them up into different cohorts, and they essentially wanted to see how much kratom would someone have to consume before there was an adverse event. So they gave people the protocol to consume more and more kratom, up to 12 grams of kratom in a 5-minute period.
Wow.
So this is 30 capsules traditionally. I mean, it's 24 capsules. And out of all of that study, they found that 2 people out of the 40 had some slight nausea and vomiting, even at that 12-gram dose. So their conclusion is that kratom seems to be well tolerated at all doses.
Where do you think the negativity spawned from? Because when I first got into utilizing kratom and then later got into making some kratom with your company, Etha, most of the research I did was hey man, stay away from this by all means. Don't, and my research is me using Google.
Yep.
But when I, just at first glance, I'd see, it would say that people are dying from it and all kinds of stuff. And then later I kind of found out that some of that was because my understanding was that some people were dry scooping this stuff And kratom is like cinnamon. It's like it doesn't, it doesn't.
Cinnamon challenge.
Yeah. It's something that you're gonna choke on if you just try to spoon it without mixing it into anything. And then some of the other things I heard is that people were mixing grams and grams and grams of it, like in a blender, and making smoothies out of it, like 10, 20 grams, and So yeah, where do you think that some of the negativity comes from? Maybe just the misuse of it.
Yes, I would say the most prevalent cases came from around 2016. And this is when the FDA was saying that kratom was very dangerous. And it was really spurred from 6 deaths that occurred in Norway or Finland, in kind of the Nordic region. But what we found is that once they finally tested the actual product, they found that those products were contaminated or adulterated with O-desmal tramadol, which is the precursor to tramadol, a known opiate that if you consume too much of tramadol, it will suppress breathing and unfortunately lead to death. And so it's been a lot of that misinformation of when kratom is mixed with other known opiates that can cause death or other known drugs, that's when we see the problem. But on further review of testing, anytime that there were kratom or deaths that were assumed to be kratom, it was not only kratom. There was other compounds or substances in that person's body that was most likely the actual cause. And kratom is just kind of wrapped up in that misinformation because it was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, so to speak.
Another big red flag that you see from some people is, I've used kratom. I dig it. I don't use it all the time because I never wanted to become, I never wanted to feel that I absolutely needed it. But I do know people, and I see these comments a lot where people are like, I started using it, then I started using it more and more and more. And then they almost get in a cycle where they can't go a day without using it. And when they stop, they start getting withdrawals, etc. So is this one of those things that people need to be careful with it? Do some people have a more addictive nature towards kratom than others? What is it that you've noticed?
I think so. So there's a lot of complications around addiction.
That whole mentality of taking more and more and more is your brain telling you that you need more and more and more.
Yeah.
Just like with alcohol, just like with me and the pain pills, I needed more and more and more to get the desired effect. With kratom, it's ass backwards. You have to go down. It's less is more. Less truly is more. So don't allow your brain to make you, it's trying to trick you.
Definitely.
Addiction in general. Even common things like food or sex or other normal behaviors, people can become addicted to it for a variety of reasons. I think this is commonly where there was a study done in the 70s where a scientist took rats. And so typically the way we analyze if a compound is addictive, we'll take an isolated rat, put it in a cage, and give it access to the compound or the drug that we're trying to test. And then if that rat takes that drug and then keeps drinking more and more of it, then that kind of leads to this addiction side. But what was fascinating was that when the scientists took those same rats and same compounds, but put them in what's called like rat park, where it was like a more natural living situation. So the rats had other rats to associate with, to socialize with. They had other, tubes and systems to play with.
Yep.
That level of addiction of that single compound was much lower. And so that's where addiction is complicated because, what am I trying to maybe suppress in my life, or what other pain am I trying to cover up, can then lead to addiction for any kind of compound.
I understand that.
But kratom itself, there is a habit forming, or kratom can be addictive, just like caffeine is addictive, nutmeg, chamomile. There are substances that are habit forming and addictive.
Yeah.
But kratom itself generally does not lead to abuse when it is used in its natural form and only used as kratom. When it's mixed with some other substances, there can be a higher potential for abuse.
I would say what I've noticed in my own experience, and I'll just flat out say I've been addicted to it before, to the point where, I'm like, I like to utilize it for running, and I've gotten to the point before where I'm like, I'm going to go out and run, and, I'm just going to hit this kratom up before I run. I would utilize it like a pre-workout. And
what do y'all think? I know they're very big with that in the bodybuilder and the weightlifting community.
But are you addicted to the kratom itself, or are you addicted to adding it to your running addiction?
Oh, yeah.
Or your whole routine.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I don't work out 5 days a week now, I've been almost a month now. I've been working out 5 days a week. On a day that I don't work out, I feel like shit. I'm beating myself up.
That's a great point.
It's because I created a routine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you get out of your routine, you're just not the same.
Yeah. And I do. I actually tell my kids, I'm like, man, I didn't work out today. I feel like shit. I feel guilty. I feel guilty is what I say. You know, so is it the kratom, or is it his runner's high that he's addicted to, and he's just got kratom in the routine?
Right. Now we all take it because we all suffer from chronic pain. So if it wasn't this, it would be our daily opioids, but it's instead daily kratom. But people like him in that community, a lot of them do it as a pre-workout. They do it as part of their sports and things, which is very different. What do y'all think about that? Do you feel like there is more potential abuse because, like what you just brought up, Misty?
I mean, me personally, I can see how it'd be useful. Like Drew, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Yeah,
but like, you know,
he's a
people
wrestler,
that are
right?
Or boxers.
Drew Clay?
Yeah,
the MMA fighter.
MMA.
Yeah, like he's a fighter. I mean, that's like, it's cool, but think about like the injuries and stuff that come with that. I could see it definitely being utilized for pain.
Right.
And I could see maybe, you know, I mean, it just depends on people's personalities.
It's behavior. It is
Yeah.
behavior.
But I
It's
think
a beha-
it's, you know,
it's a behavioral addiction. You know,
Yeah.
And like he was talking about with the rat park thing, you know, it's an environmental issue also. You know, like when I was in my active addiction, I was an active addict by myself.
Yeah.
You know, so. And, you know, like with the whole rat study where they compared kratom to oxy, you know, the rats went to the levers for the oxy. They didn't keep going back to the kratom levers.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's environmental. It's behavioral. It's like I say, behavior, habits, routines, and rituals.
And aren't they normally drinking the more of an extract liquids than the powdered tea too?
I don't know.
I usually hear them talking about drinking things.
Yeah.
So
But
if
in
they're
my-
drinking the whole thing.
I'm envisioning him taking his kratom and then go probably do like a 2 to 5 mile run or something
Right.
like that. You
Well,
know,
yeah.
versus him not dosing his kratom, he'd probably only do a half a mile or a mile.
And a lot of the, you know, people that are in sports and weightlifting, and I mean, they're already taking a lot of supplements, you know, they
Yes.
are going to GNC and picking up. So, I mean, you know, that also has, you know, a stuff to do with it, something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I could see how they're used to taking supplements. I don't know. I think it's a good thing.
Like it's
in that
part of the
book.
ritual. Like it's a
Yeah.
ritual
Yes.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's play some more.
It
of this.
becomes
Isn't
a
this
muscle memory.
Yeah. Isn't this an
Yeah.
interesting program they're doing? I mean,
Yes.
it's quite interesting. Yeah. All right, let's play some more.
And when I did that, what happened was over time, I would kind of associate the feeling of kratom like with the run. So I think that, you know, I think we could probably,
There you go.
we could split hairs on like how addictive, how not addictive, you know, is it a drug? Is it an opioid? And we can throw some negative connotations around it. Or I think we can kind of look at it maybe in a different way of like, it just puts you in a really good mood and it puts you in a really good space. And so for me, when I utilize it for running, that's what it's doing. But because it does that, because the run ends up being, running for me is enjoyable anyway, with or without kratom. But when I'm pairing those two things together, the maybe dopamine hit that I get from kratom, the dopamine hit that I'm getting from running, when I start to kind of stack these dopaminergic things together, I'm kind of having a party. And I think that is the part that I would caution a lot of people against that. So, you know, blending your kratom in your workouts and really starting to associate it with like a particular thing that you love to do. You love to do jujitsu.
And I like it when I do jujitsu, but that's the thing, it feels too good sometimes.
Right.
you know?
So I think it's just a healthy practice, I think, to be mindful. I don't, and
Absolutely,
I don't even
absolutely.
know. I'm not really even aware of if that's even dangerous. But in my own head, I'm like, it makes the most sense for me to treat caffeine and kratom, alcohol, any of these things, kind of just put them in a category where, hey, let's just kava, same thing. I would just say, like, let's just be careful with this and just make sure it's not something you're going to like slip into where every day, just to be happy and just to be excited, I need any kind of drug.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's good practice to your point. And I think that's people will talk about what's a potentiator for kratom. And that's a potentiator meaning, okay, I like the effects of kratom. How do I amplify the effects of it? And personally, kind of like you, I've found that exercise is one of the best potentiators. And I think that's a healthy way of doing it because exercising requires that effort, requires that discipline in a healthy way. It's not just, if I just try to take more kratom, then eventually kind of nausea sets in or dysphoria. So I can't just keep increasing the amount of kratom without some negative side effect coming into play, which I think is kind of a healthy way of doing it. So I don't just pleasure seek on this one compound. It's kind of like how I manage my health. It takes multiple small efforts. So drinking the right amount of water, eating healthy, exercising, stretching, being mindful and meditating, all of those combined make me healthy. I can't just do one thing and try to overdo one of those aspects to be healthy and happy.
And when somebody is talking, I guess I'll say negatively about kratom, they will highlight, oh, it's an opiate. Like it, and then why would you want to take an opiate? Because we associate that with like the worst drugs ever. So then what is kratom? Because we see the kratom plant behind Mark now. What is kratom once we're actually like it comes into this form of these packages and these things that I guess we don't really know what an opiate looks like, but that doesn't look like a heavy hardcore drug all of a sudden.
Yes. So a lot of words in there have some different definition. So an opiate is a compound from the poppy plant. So this would be like codeine, morphine, very specific compounds. Now, it gets confusing because we'll say an opioid is a synthetic opiate, but an opioid can also mean any compound that interacts with one of the 3 opioid receptors. So even something like endorphins, which the word endorphins comes from endogenous morphine. So it's essentially our body producing a morphine-like compound. And so just because something is an opioid does not necessarily mean it is negative or always bad. And kratom itself has opioid-like characteristics, but it is different than those classical opiates or synthetic opiates that are called opioids. And so kratom is different in some very profound ways. So the main active ingredient is called mitragynine, and that does interact with the mu opioid receptor, but it also
More mu.
interacts with the kappa opioid receptor,
Always the
as
mu.
well as serotonin,
mu.
dopamine, and the alpha adrenergic receptor. So it's a kind of a multiple receptor agonist. In addition to that, what we see with typical opiates or synthetic opioids is that they'll stimulate the mu opioid receptor only, and that's kind of the single activation, and they fully bind to it. So it's a full agonist, fully binds. And as someone consumes more of it, they kind of get this dose-dependent response where they get more and more of that analgesic or that pain relief, and they get more and more of that dopamine release. In addition, those typical opiates recruit what's called beta-arrestin, and that is what is thought that the recruitment of beta-arrestin is more of that recruitment leads to kind of this
respiratory depression,
kind of a tolerance buildup. So people have to consume more of it to get the same pain relief effect. And so that's where people kind of traditionally consume more and more opioids just to get the same pain relief. But unfortunately, once too much beta-arrestin is recruited, that's what actually causes the suppression of the breathing. The respiratory depression is how people actually pass away from an opioid overdose. Kratom does not recruit beta-arrestin. It actually recruits a G protein. And so that's why it's thought that what we see from the testing is that we can take a mouse and give it as much mitragynine as possible to get dissolved in a solution, and still the mouse does not pass away from the kratom or the mitragynine.
I'm
So it does
picturing a
not seem
mouse
like
throwing up
kratom
right
can
now.
cause respiratory.
I know. Poor mouse.
I'm
Isn't
sorry.
it
Like that was the
interesting?
first thing that popped into my mind was a mouse throwing up because it ate too much kratom.
Poor Tom made Jerry throw up.
Oh.
Well, too, going back on what he was saying earlier, it's like you shouldn't be dependent on something to make you happy all the time anyway. And when
Right.
some days just are going to be shitty. You
Right,
can't just sit
right.
there and think, oh, well, I'm just going to keep doing this every day and be dependent on that one thing to make you feel better. And a lot of times, just kratom will help you. If you just lay around, you're not going to feel good. But if you're able to get up and do stuff, like he was saying, exercise, like that's a huge part of just, being well, like your whole well-being, your mental mind space, everything. So, I mean,
when my habits of when I'm done with my treadmill workout, the very first thing that I'll do is I'll chug some water. Does that mean I'm addicted to water?
Exactly.
So it's all about whys. Why?
Absolutely. Well, we've already gone over for 2 hours. I think we'll stop the video there. It's a long video. We only watched just under 14 minutes. It's an hour and 20 minutes long. But do y'all like the idea of just playing a little bit each week and just kind of going through? Because it's kind of fun because I haven't watched any of it. It's kind of fun watching together. I like Alex from Etha because he is so into the science and he has an engineering background. He understands the mechanics of these things, and I love hearing him explain all this stuff. I've heard him do it in multiple podcast episodes. He did it on my podcast. He's so immersed in this. He's just, to me, he's like at that level of a lot of the scientists. He knows so much, and he explains it where it's easy for us to understand.
Yeah. I mean, because there is a lot of science behind and
Yeah.
I remember when I first, started, it's sometimes you feel like you don't know enough to speak out about stuff and correct people. And it's, but I will say, I mean, if you reach out to anybody, and it's hard to stay on top of the science too. I mean, it's constantly changing. There's constantly new stuff coming out. But if you reach out to anybody and ask, hey, can you explain this to me? It's really,
That's what I do.
yeah. But it's
I'll say, can someone dumb this down for me?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
I'm not going to pretend like I know it all or I could speak in those scientific terms and all that shit,
But you have a lot of the resources, like, all the talks that they did, while y'all were in DC. I mean, those are huge resources to just watch and be able to understand a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, when I think about that DC talk, that was just, I was so zoned in. I was just like, I mean, I felt some dark energy on this side because, who was there?
Yeah.
Right.
But, I was so zoned in listening to Dr. Jack Henningfield, Dr. Kirsten Smith, Dr. Nora Volkow, Dr. Marilyn Eustace, our fairy godmother.
I was thinking about her when he was talking about that.
Yeah. And then we had the former drug czar, James Carroll. It was a panel of greatness that was
a battle of
there.
the Titans, or a meeting of the Titans.
Yes. I was so nerding out over that stuff. I just told somebody the other day that, that I actually met the researchers that are researching kratom, and her fucking comeback was, oh, do you want a cookie? So her other comeback was also, well, because she kept saying kratom was an opioid, and I'm like, it is not an opioid. She says, well, if it goes to the opioid receptors, it is an opioid.
Oh my God.
So, no. An opioid-like means the pain relief. That's the only way that you could compare kratom to an opioid or opiates. When they say opioid-like, it means the pain relief. And the pain relief we get from kratom is 1,000 times
phenomenal.
better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, phenomenal. For me, you know, versus being on the opiates that I was addicted to. Phenomenal. It's the chef's kiss.
That's right.
I don't know why we didn't see any of Mac's comments in StreamYard here. Apparently they were in your Facebook, Misty, but I did not see them on, so I didn't even know he was here. So if he's still here, thanks, Mac. We appreciate your support.
Thank you,
What did
Mac,
Mac
and thank you
say?
for all you do.
Thanks,
Go
Mac.
look,
We just
go
saw
look
you.
in the Twitter DM. Jennifer did a screenshot. I'm like, oh, I didn't know Mac. He did a comment
Yeah, I
saying
kept
thanks.
looking, but
I didn't see it. He goes, thanks to each one of you. Outstanding work you're doing to educate people about Kratom. So thank you to Mac for the nice shout out. I don't.
Nice.
I didn't see any of that here on StreamYard, so I didn't
thank you, Mac.
know he had commented. So thank you very much. Well, you know, we're all just very passionate. We're not doing it for him or we're doing this for ourselves and to help other people. It's nice to get that recognition, and we all appreciate it. I'm just here to help people. As I said earlier, when we started a few hours ago with this live stream, this wasn't really talked about in the chronic pain community that I was in for 9 years. And for me to get abandoned by that community, by the doctor, and no other doctors taking over my care, then I discovered Kratom. Like, why didn't anybody ever talk about it before? I would not have to have gone through the craziness of being dropped like that and not knowing how was I going to treat my pain with the pain meds that worked for me, for even though they worked okay, they weren't, it's what you don't know what you don't know. I just thought, oh, these opioids, FDA approved, it's the best thing in the world because it takes the edge off. It doesn't make my pain go away completely.
Right, yeah.
But I feel better. I feel like a human. I can still work. I can participate in life. Then I discover Kratom after I lose access. It's like, wait a minute. This plant gives me the ability to have like zero pain.
Right. It's like actual pain relief.
Real pain relief.
Instead
it's like,
of just like, oh, you can function today,
Yeah.
It's that whole wait a minute moment. Like, what? A plant?
I sure didn't believe that it was going to do anything, but I was willing to try. I mean, I was done. I was willing to try anything.
But for me, when I found Kratom, it wasn't the pain relief that I noticed right off the bat. It was the shutting that noise up in my brain about wanting to go buy some cocaine, wanting to call my drug dealers for some pills. I was like, whoa, what is happening right now? It wasn't something I noticed right away. The thing that I did happen the first day that I tried it, which was actually 5 years ago,
Congrats.
The first thing, like I said, I was cleaning my house. I was jamming to music. The music I heard the music differently. I was dancing. I was cleaning my kitchen. I was doing laundry, and I was like, when I went to bed that night, I was like, oh my God, Misty, you did all this without cocaine. You did all this without pain pills. It wasn't something I noticed right away. I was just doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah. When you have an addiction, it's like you think you can't enjoy stuff without that. It's like, oh, I'm going out tonight. My thing was, make sure I have something to drink, or is there going to be something there? Or, it's like you just get dependent, or not really dependent, but you just feel like you can't enjoy something unless you're, using whatever your drug of choice is.
I'm the same way. I'm a pip.
Yeah.
So, because I work out 5 days a week now. And, the reasons why I gained all this weight after finding my pathway to my recovery, which was Kratom, weed and some little bit of shrooms, was because I was just sitting down, building up my social media platform. So it was nothing but pure laziness. So,
I would not say laziness at all, Misty. I don't think,
Well,
you were just focused on more on advocacy. Let's just put it that way. Don't say lazy.
Because, like when Jordan's documentary trailer came out, I knew the fat shaming comments were going to come along, and it just gave me the extra inspiration to work out, So I pull a lot of inspirations on why I'm working out, not only for my health, my mental health, being able to lose weight without being on drugs.
Yeah.
Which is a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all right, because you'll be making videos about that in no time. And you'll be able to look back on, and there's just another thing that you were able to accomplish because of Kratom.
Because if I could show before and after pictures of me in active addiction, and now I will show before and after pictures of weight loss.
Yeah.
So it ain't gonna happen overnight. I ain't gonna get on that Ozempic train or anything that, any of that bullshit. But I'm doing it through hard work and effort. So if you find yourself claiming to be addicted to Kratom, put in that hard work and effort to taper.
Yep.
No excuses.
Exactly.
I think people just don't want to be like unhappy. People that say they can't stop. It's like, well, I just don't want to, I just don't want to feel bad for a couple of days, or how, people just expect to feel good all the time. That's not really how life works.
Yeah.
Exactly. And even with Kratom, as much of a miracle as it is, you're gonna be uncomfortable for a little bit while you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So, well,
I envy the people.
You might be uncomfortable.
Because I envy the people that the very first time they try it, it's amazing, and I'm blown away every time. And I've had quite a few people say, "Oh my God, I tried it for the first time. It's amazing." I'm like, "You're so lucky. I wish it was like that for me." But no, there are plenty of people that first tried. But I always stress to people, it might take a little time. Don't give up.
Yeah,
keep going.
But had it worked for you the first time, you wouldn't be able to help people that are having the problem
to understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I want to show off again our Kratom Gals t-shirts because we always show them when we start, but we have way more people here now. So look how cool this is, everybody.
Kratom Gals.
And did you know you can get a Kratom Gals t-shirt in Miss T's merch? Look at that.
Or tank top.
And there's also Kratom Pals. Look at that. Kratom Pals t-shirts, hoodies. Look how cool these are. So if you want to get a Kratom Pal shirt instead of a Kratom Gals, that's cool. So look how cool. That's the one I just ordered, the navy with the white.
Ooh, I like that color.
This is like super cool. And what's great is that Carrie can do these as hoodies as well. Look at the tanks. Tank tops are cool.
I'm telling you, they're so comfortable.
They got the men's and the women's. Yeah, those are like some good looking. Oh, the men's are unavailable.
I'm definitely getting another one of these.
Hey, and who knows, when I get to my goal weight that I want to be at, I will be up there. My picture will be, I'll be bottling merch.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
That would be cool. But yeah, Kratom Gals, Kratom Pals, you can go to missteesmerch.com or go to kratomstoriespodcast.com/t-shirts with an S on the end. You can get one of these cool shirts like we're all wearing or like what you see on the page. And Carrie, which is Misty's cousin, she will work with you. You can customize however you want. She'll work with you on that. Just reach out to her.
There's also really cool stickers. I always get a couple of stickers every time I order anything.
The stickers are very cool.
Yeah, you can put them on anything.
She always sends them in the package. There's always
I want to get a tumbler as well. And I just hadn't figured. I kind of just want to, I don't know. I want to get something that says 5-year crew. I'm thinking maybe the tumbler. So like when we're drinking or, when we're on screen, I can be like 5 years.
That's a great idea.
That'd be a perfect Halloween tumbler. 5-year crew boo.
Oh, yeah.
Have a Kratom ghost on there or something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, because y'all caught up to me now. The 5-year crew, Misty.
We're all official now.
Misty celebrated 5 years this week on the 25th. Jennifer, you had your 5-year anniversary last month, right?
7th.
Or this month.
June 7th.
And I had my anniversary on March 30th. And Venus, you're a little ahead of us.
You're an old timer.
8-year mark or 8-ish.
Yeah, still trying to figure out the exact date, but
I remember the exact date, and I keep this on my desk, my Kratom journal, and I have it all in here. I started on I just love keeping this as a reminder, and I did this journal for a long time. I did it for like probably 8 or 9 months, but like I did. This is what I wrote: Day 1, Saturday, March 30th. I waited for the weekend because I was taking care of my mom at the time. And even though it was just me and her the whole week, I didn't have any caregiver help on the weekends. I had some help during the weekdays for like part of the day. But, evenings and weekends, it was just her and I. But this was back when she was still, this is before the dementia got bad and when she could still get around the house pretty well without my assistance. But I just thought I better start on a weekend, like where I just don't have to worry about too much, and where if I just need to just chill and just lay on the couch all day. But that was the start that morning. And yeah, it's just amazing that 5 years went by, and it's like, man, what a 5 years it's been.
Yeah. There's been so many good things that's happened in my life, but there's also, I mean, there's been bad things. I lost my dad. I mean, a lot of bad things, but how I reacted to those bad things is
Growth.
awesome. Yeah.
Growth.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's a
you
lot
can
of
deal with
growth.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we'll close out with playing Jordan Richards' awesome song "Thankful," which we haven't. Well, we didn't do this the last few times, because I think the last couple of weeks we went way over, and I think we're all just tired and ready to just go. But because I don't know, I just love his song. If y'all haven't heard his Kratom, I know it's an old video. Jordan is so young in this video. He looks a lot different now than when this video came out.
I feel old when I look at Jordan and I call him like, you know what I mean? I look at him like a son, kind of.
Yeah. I look at
I
him
was
like a
telling
big
my
brother.
son about that the other day. I was like, I'm officially old when I can look at time like, he's so cute or whatever. And I'm thinking about,
Well, he is young. This video is from
Yeah.
2017. But yeah, he's such a great guy. It was great that Misty and I got to meet him in Washington, D.C. back in December. He's exactly like he is in his videos in person. Same, totally the same. A lot of fun to hang out with. So yeah, let's play this. Thank you all so much. We got 109 people here live with us right now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This is recorded. You can watch the
Yeah,
replay
thank
when
you.
this is over. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next Saturday to play. Believe me, there'll be more for us to watch. There always
There
is.
always is.
But let's close out with Jordan's awesome song.
I'ma spit a little story, I'ma keep it brief. My life is so insane, but it changed with just a leaf. It made me feel complete. I never thought I would. Used to be that person that's rehearsing to pretend he's good. I felt misunderstood. To feel good, I will pop pills. I'm not fronting. Popping 20 Norcos, that was nothing. Took too many, it was plenty. Couldn't handle it. Mama, she was crushed when I was rushed away by ambulance. Feeling so pathetic, man. I can barely stand it off. Surrounded by paramedics, so I told them about the tramadol. How many I took. Their looks were so embarrassing. But I had to go. My liver burning like some kerosene. Right now, God, I'm thankful for Kratom. So happy that you made it. Tell you right now, never back down. Let's just band together and let nobody take it. Right now, God, I'm thankful for Kratom. So happy that you made it. Tell you right now, never back down. Let's just band together and let nobody take it.
See, the worst thing is when people try to come in and take away your freedom. Just because they're not profiting from something, they'd rather you be sick than healthy. They'd rather be wealthy than you be well.
See, I don't know where I'd be without this plans. It's not a facade, changed who I am. Used to be an addict, nowadays I am a man. I don't think you understand, I don't think you understand. Yo, life as an addict, it was so over dramatic. Act sporadic, get pissed, and then you flip like some acrobatics. Listen to me, I would never steer you wrong. We should chant about the plan that helps us all just get along. I love the Bali, makes me jolly, filled with happiness. I'm the guy who loves a tie, sprinkle with some capitalist. I think it's awesome and delicious. Every day the FDA lies and tries to make it look so vicious. I wonder why, rather have it sick than healthy. Long as their pockets are wealthy, driving in the Bentley, they prevent me from living free. Actually, it's just a tea, lets you live so happily. But they ain't getting paid cause it ain't man-made. Right now, God, I'm thankful for Kratom. So happy that you made it. Tell you right now, never back down. Let's just band together and let nobody take it. Right now, God, I'm thankful for Kratom. So happy that you made it. Tell you right now, never back down. Let's just band together and let nobody take it.
I never get tired of watching that.
Me neither. I always start moving around.
Yeah, it's a jamming song.
Yeah,
So
it
good.
gets
He's so
stuck in my head
talented.
every time we watch this, and then
Yeah.
I'll sing it for the rest of the evening.
Yeah, it's very catchy. He should do like another one.
He said he had another one coming out when we
Yeah.
had him on the show for his
Yeah.
premiere for the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. I know I need to like stand up and move around. I've been sitting in here for a long time.
Yeah.
I never take a break when we do these because I don't know. I guess I'm just so into it. I don't think to get up. And do
Thank
anything
you
else.
for doing these, Madalyn. Thank you
Yeah.
for manning the controls. I know it's got to be
I-
tedious over there.
I'm a geek. I like doing all that. It's
You're
a
so
lot to
badass.
do, and you have to stay like so focused to do it. But I think that's why I never like think like I probably should get up and go to the bathroom, because I'm just so into this. It's something I like doing. So,
Well,
but thank
I
y'all for
think
doing this with me.
Thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you started doing this. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've seen some of those YouTubers with their live stream reaction kind of videos they do, and it gave me inspiration, thinking it'd be really cool to just have a way for us to get a group together and watch these videos and talk about it. And I didn't know if anybody'd come watch. I mean, I'm amazed that we have so many people here live with us. I wasn't doing it for that. I wasn't expecting that. I just wanted to hang out with some cool people that use Kratom like I do, and that
Yeah.
hang out and talk about and watch videos together. So
Yeah, because these negative stories overshadow
Yeah.
ours.
Yeah.
It's
And
just, you know,
sometimes it gets really frustrating. Like, you
Yeah.
know, when there's a lot of blows and a lot of bad news, it's nice to be able to come here every Saturday and kind of just let off the steam with everybody because we're all feeling the same frustrations. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I love seeing all
mean,
the comments when we're doing it. People
Yes.
chatting. Yeah.
advocacy fatigue might get to us, but it doesn't keep us down. You know?
Right.
Right. Like the
So-
day I lost my TikTok back in December, like literally there was one day where I like went to my TikTok. It was gone. It was deleted. TikTok didn't even
Yep.
tell me, like I had no warning.
That lit your fire, boy.
Nothing. But I just immediately, as soon as
Yeah.
that happened, I immediately just went and made a new account.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I started Kratom Real Talk, which is a private forum,
Exactly.
because it's like, okay, and it's frustrating because we should be able to put more of this, the content we want to put on social media, but a lot of them restrict us, which I don't know if everybody, I know people newer to Kratom don't know this, and they learn from us. Like, you know, why do we spell Kratom funny on TikTok? And
Yep.
like, why don't we show ourselves consuming Kratom and just like different things? And it's like, oh, there's censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Even when we're just sharing our truths. But I started the private forum at Kratom Real Talk, which is free for everybody. If anybody here is not there, kratomrealtalk.com. I want to be able to have like videos and conversations where we don't have to worry about that. And one of the things I did over there is there's like a classroom section where I can kind of put like just more resources, classes, whatever I can. There's all kinds of things I can do over there. And I put together a whole section for tips for beginners, and somebody was just commenting on it this week saying, oh, it was Marcel, because I just had her on the podcast. I don't think she had spent much time over there, so I guess she was checking it out this week, and she's like, I love this, and I want to be able to put videos up, because one of the things people ask me about all the time with Kratom is, how do I make the Kratom tea? How do you do your swamp water tea? How do you use blade papes? Like, how do you do all these different things? If I post a video of that on TikTok, my account's going to get deleted because I can't. They don't let us show that stuff.
But the thing that I find odd is that our detractors can get up there and dump Kratom powder down drains and shit. Nobody gives two shits. Nobody reports their videos for that. But all of a sudden, oh my God, us successful Kratom consumers, oh my God, if she shows herself tossing washing, oop, I'm going to report that.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So
Or they can also show like liquor and alcohol.
Yeah.
know.
So my way, because I'm the kind of person where if there's a roadblock, I will find a way around it. So in this case,
Me
the
too.
roadblock is like, okay, we're censored, and look, we could get censored here live streaming this.
Yeah.
It can happen. I mean, we can do this live, but that replay could get taken down on YouTube or Facebook. Like I wouldn't, I haven't seen that happen yet with any of these Kratom Gals, but it could happen. So it really inspired me to make videos to put in my Kratom Real Talk in the classroom section. I have a video that's over 5 minutes long of how I make my swamp water tea, step by step. I have another video that's over 7 minutes long of how to use blade papes, step by step, because people, like, these were things I wanted that I wish, I could find. The Blade Papes, luckily, Harrison, the CEO of Blade Papes, he does have some YouTube videos. They've not been taken down, thank God, but his TikTok was taken down. But he does have YouTube videos showing you how to use Blade Papes, and that is what helped me. But I thought, well, let me make a video, because I'm sure people are going to ask me, because I'm always talking about it. They're going to say, I don't know how to do this. So
you became the teacher you wished you had in the beginning of your journey.
Yeah.
100%.
Exactly.
100%. So that's what I feel like with Kratom Real Talk. Not only is it a place for conversations for those of us that have been consuming Kratom a long time, but for the newbies, where you can ask questions, get lots of information, but have this free classroom section where I've got all these videos to help,
Yeah, there's a ton of information on there. I mean, you've really, since you've started that, I mean, it's a lot of good information.
Well, I mean, I do have a background in putting together online courses and teaching people
I
stuff.
couldn't
So,
tell.
Like
Yeah,
I know
I
how to
couldn't
do
tell
all
at
this
all.
stuff. All I basically did was take all my decades of my business experience and apply it to being a Kratom advocate. So, yeah.
It's like,
funny doing
I feel like the Kratom community needed that. They needed an expertise in that field. And we got one.
And not for monetary gain.
Right. No, because
Yeah.
with this forum I started, I'm the one paying for it. It costs me to have it, because what people have to remember with social media, you get what you pay for. It's free. They're like, we all, does anybody read the terms of service? No. I mean, technically, when you put content on these social media, they control everything, and they can own the rights to, like, they have every right
It's
in
like
their favor.
people don't. It's
But
like
we don't-
people don't read the side effects from their millions of freaking pills.
Right.
Nobody reads the terms of services.
Right.
It's
So
like 30 pages long.
don't be surprised when you're censored. They have every right to do it. So my roadblock with that, the way to get around it was, okay, I'm going to go find my own platform that I can control. It's not going to be free, but I want it to be free for the people that join. Like, I could have charged a fee. I don't want to do that. So I want a free place we can go. It's similar to like a Facebook group, but without the hassles of worrying about it going away. Because one of the very first Facebook groups I joined went away not too long after I joined. Like, Facebook just shut it down one day. There was that time in 2019 where Facebook went on a rampage in the Kratom community, and they were shutting down groups left and right. And that was my main lifeline to asking questions and getting help. And that was scary. Like, oh my gosh, they're censoring content, and now you're making it harder for me to understand how to use a plant.
And a lot of newcomers, when you join the groups, I mean, you don't realize that you can't say certain things, and you have to word everything, carefully.
Yeah.
Those are the vendor ran groups.
Yeah.
Where it gets messed up at is where they start sharing the vendor links, because you're technically not supposed to sell Kratom because it's in that gray area.
Yeah.
So the vendor ran groups want you to spell Kratom differently and think that the word Kratom is what's getting them shut down. But I've ran my group since 2019 as well, and the word Kratom isn't getting shit shut down. It
doesn't seem like anymore. It did for a long time ago, for quite a while, but it doesn't seem to do it anymore. It doesn't seem to be as much of a problem. But it just goes back to these platforms. They dictate the rules. They could decide tomorrow that they are going to censor if they see the word Kratom. We know it happens on TikTok. We know on TikTok we can't. Although sometimes I'll slide a little bit and see.
That's what I've been doing. Is
But then I worry my account's going to get deleted again, which would be bad.
Oh, I know that's got to be just. I can't imagine like Misty going through. Say, well, you're on your second one, Misty, you're on your. Man, that's just so much work.
Well, it happened, Emily,
Life.
Botanical Queens. I know she's had issues. We know Joey. I mean, Joey talks. He had over 30,000 YouTube subscribers, and I found his videos so helpful last year before he got shut down, and then he just loses it. His account was completely gone. I mean, I know that's very defeating. It's just amazing when people get back up and just like, yeah, it's hard, it sucks, but not let them win.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, all right, everybody, thank y'all. It's hard to like stop when we have so many people here live. I look at that number. I mean, here on StreamYard, I can see it. I know the people watching this can't see it, but we can see it. I think y'all can see
I
it.
can't.
Right?
No, we can't see
No?
it.
Okay, I guess I'm the only one. I'm the one. Okay, so yeah, we have 109 people here. I just feel so bad, like telling 109 people, like, bye. We're done. We're done.
You know.
I
It
know
always
it's so hard to
happens
stop.
Towards the end. Towards the end is when
That's
we
one
get
of
the
the
influx of people.
weirdest. That's the weirdest thing about live streams. But you know what? Twitter Spaces, back when Clubhouse was a thing, like it's a very, very common thing because I've been doing like live stream audio and video stuff for a very long time. It's not anything new. It's really strange that the longer you're on, the more people that show up. But we've consistently have had over 100 people here for a good long while, and people come and go. So I know there's people leaving and coming constantly. That's what, but to see it stay level for so long, it's just amazing. But we did start almost 3 hours ago. So
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Holy.
I know.
I just
Look at the
looked up,
time.
like,
It's like,
holy crap.
I'm about due for my
thank
kratom.
you.
Yes,
you.
thanks
That's
everybody
beautiful.
for coming and
Staying
commenting.
109 souls.
Yeah. We just got somebody new that just showed up. Hello, number 110.
Hi.
We're going now.
Chillaxing with us on Saturday.
It's fun doing this on. I know we talked for a while, like maybe we should change it, but I don't know. Saturday just seems the best day and time to do this, Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon. It makes Saturday so much better.
It does.
So thank y'all so much for doing this with me and for all the people watching. We'll be back next Saturday. We'll be back. Y'all
We'll be
come back
back.
and join us. If you're not realizing the start time, we start at 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central, 12 Mountain, 11 a.m. Pacific. So put it in your calendar. That's what I do. I put if I needed to remember something, I just put in my phone, set a reminder in the calendar, set it for weekly.
Yes.
Then you'll always be here with us from the start. If you can. And the replay is always available.
Hashtag replay.
Hashtag replay. Yep.
Hashtag replay.
Join us next Saturday for the next round of bullshit that we're going to see throughout the week.
Yeah, because almost everything we watched today, I would say like 80% of it was from this week. Most of it was new stuff that came out this week. So that's been happening a lot lately. So
yeah.
Always
There's a
lots.
lot of comments not showing up on StreamYard today.
I haven't seen a new comment in a while here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
But here's the thing. So if we have not acknowledged some of you, like we run this through StreamYard. That's how we're able to live stream all over social media. But StreamYard was bought out a few months ago, and it has not been the same. And I haven't even told y'all yet. I just found out a few days ago they laid off 40 engineers.
Dang.
I am very concerned. And I pay quite a bit of money to use this platform. So I am not too happy. We might have to. There's a few others that where we can do the same thing. It's just I've always liked StreamYard.
It's annoying not to see the comments though when people are commenting.
I haven't seen comments in a while. So yeah, I think.
I mean, it worked for half the time, but
but I didn't see any Max comments. So that was weird. So I don't know. We're just not getting the comments in here, and we have a lot of people here, so I'm sure people are commenting. So if we're not seeing your comments, it's whenever it's a Twitter thing, I would say it's Elon's fault. Well, in this case, this is StreamYard's fault. They should not have bought the company and laid off a bunch of engineers.
Yeah,
they're going to lose a lot of business because of that. So yeah, we might have to move to a different platform, but everything will be the same. The only ones that would know would be just the 4 of us. It only affects us, not the rest of you all. I'd like to be able to see everybody's comments. So, and we still have no comments coming in. So here we're talking about it. I'm sure people are commenting because we're talking about it, right? Are y'all looking on your Facebook?
I'm gonna look right now.
I'm not, I don't have any of mine open because my computer's been acting up.
Say
and I
like
don't wanna
Marcel's
upset
here.
it.
Hey, Marcel.
Jizz?
Sam.
Oh my
Sam came.
gosh. I
and he
didn't see
said he
any of
missed.
them. Hey, Marcel.
Yeah, there's actually been a lot. Rebecca,
Wow.
she enjoyed. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I see Marcel's comments on here, but I don't see it on here.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
Marcel.
saying.
I did not even know you were here, Marcel. And we played a couple of snippets of your podcast episode with me at the top. I was about to say top of the hour, top of almost 3 hours ago, at the top of the start of the live stream. We start off playing a few snippets of the latest Kratom Stories podcast episode. So we played some of that with your awesome interview. Yeah, I'm bummed that I'm not. But I know last week we didn't see any of Misty's
from the start.
Facebook comments.
If y'all watch it, I know Sam and Marcel are saying they're going to watch the replay. So hashtag replay when you watch it.
Hashtag replay.
Yeah, put in hashtag replay so we know you saw the replay. But we've been here long enough. I got to go take my kratom. Y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We do this every week. So just come back next Saturday. We'll do it again. We're always here. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.